middle of the night or early Friday morning, depending upon where you are in the world, a group of experienced comics professionals get together to examine and instruct about the art form that they love. That's great comic artwork on Comics by Night, Fridays at 5 a.m. Eastern, here on the Indie Comics Network, indiecomicsnetwork.com.
What was that? This is not a charade.
Arrow Comics is proud to present to you the fast-paced vigilante justice as only... what is this guy dressed as? This is the Fool. This is the Fool from Arrow Comics, with great artwork by Chris Tyson, colors by Patrick Gamma, written and created by Randy Zimmerman. This guy runs around the city using practical joke weapons to fight crime, and the cops just want to get him off the street before he hurts somebody. You need to read this book. Available in its own individual campaign or part of Arrow Bundle number 2. Arrow Bundle number 1 is also available with the Fool campaign over at funmycomic.com. Check it out.
What a crowd, what a crowd. Welcome. Yeah, it's been a rough morning here.
Yeah,
been a rough morning here. As you guys can see, the time says 9:23. We were supposed to start this thing quite a bit earlier, weren't we? No, literally at 2 minutes till. Everything from my modem to my computer went down. It's almost like there's gremlins out there, Randy.
I believe it.
Ooh, yeah.
Sometimes it's like there's things in the world conspiring against you.
I just figured you were having a rough time herding your hamsters this morning.
Yeah,
They didn't want to get back on the wheels to keep the power going.
Yeah.
No, I go with obscure forces of evil.
It's the guy that pulls. It's the guy that guides the horse.
Yeah.
Down at the plant. That's the guy. He was on break.
Yeah. You have like a river with a big wheel going over.
Yeah.
Like a mill.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. Guys, welcome this morning. Hopefully some of our crowd will find their way to us. And I still have to pull up. I had all my articles and everything pulled up. And so and it's all gone. So I have to go back through and grab it all while we're chatting. Guys, tell me about your week, man. Randy, how's it been for you?
It was actually kind of good. I was working on the print file for the Fool #1, finishing that up. I still have three
Yeah.
pages
Awesome.
left to fill, but that'll be pinups. So, if anybody out there wants to do a pinup for the Fool, let me know.
Ooh, I think I'm gonna have to take you up on that one. That'll be a fun one. And you can just wear whatever, right?
I want all of the Arrow books to be 32 pages, so I want to round it out to 32. So.
Yeah. So that's that book's doing. We've made a little more movement on that one. I think.
And it was too short for a story, and too long to just jam a bunch of ads in there, because that wouldn't be good.
Right. Yeah. So. No, that wouldn't be good. No one wants that kind of mess.
Nobody.
Other than that, how's it been going, dude? You been all right?
All right. Yeah, hanging in there. At least healthy, thank goodness. But got back last weekend from running off to the west coast of the state and staring at water for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw some of those pictures, man.
Yeah, I just love it here. I'm not more than an hour to 2 hours away from a hard coastline where you can't see the other shore. So it's all good living up here around the Great Lakes.
Yeah, I certainly miss that. I'm not going to lie. This cold weather and the weather. So today there's more than a 30-degree difference.
Yeah.
From its low to its high.
They had 20 inches of snow up in the UP yesterday. 20 inches, almost 2 feet. It's crazy. Just all at once. Start of May. Who knew?
I mean, how do you plan for a 30-degree difference?
You've lived in Indiana before.
I have. I don't remember what I did.
You just keep a winter coat in the closet. That's all.
Yeah. We keep it right in the doorway.
After a couple of years of being here, you'll get used to it. So, a 30-degree difference is still short weather. So.
Yeah, no, I'm still very Floridian.
Yeah, takes a while to readjust.
Yeah, it's in my blood, man. I am Floridian.
It's t-shirt
all the
weather.
way.
T-shirt weather, yeah.
Yeah, you Canadians up there.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about these temperatures in Pedro, Mr. Panamanian down there.
Yeah, dude. Do you know the La Nina phenomenon?
Mm-hmm.
You got like El Nino, you got La Nina. Right now we're at El Nino again. It's a cycle. And dude, yesterday it idled at 102. So.
Wow.
Yeah, it was insufferable. Like I had the AC
That's
on all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is naked.
Glenn wants to know what the deadline for the Fool poster is.
Yeah.
What's the deadline for a Fool poster? ASAP. We'll want to put this to bed as quickly as possible. I have a bucket list that I'm desperately wanting to get through. So.
I have a little halo behind me. Give me a second. Let me just take care of that.
Yeah, it's a little light.
Take care of the halo. Well, that's just because you're so heavenly to look at.
Holy crap! The sun's up all the time there.
Yeah, man. They talk about the city that never sleeps.
Yeah.
They've forgotten Panama. Yeah, you can hear the birds in the back, man. It sounds nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, now we do have a family of rabbits that live outside our house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not hot yet. I mean, with daytime savings, it's like 8 a.m. So it's really nice. It gets insufferable like around 10.
About 80.
So
right?
Right now,
El
like
Nino,
82.
La Nina.
Yeah.
82. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where Critical Blast would like to know El Nino, La Nina. Why are you confining your weather patterns into binary structure?
Yeah, because
it's always Laneeks.
Yeah, because weather, just like biology, doesn't care about gender.
There you go.
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I think did I tell you guys what my daughter said? My daughter said that you've got to have a real set of balls to stand up to a trans woman.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, oh my gosh, she's so funny.
That's the way that works. Yes, probably. Yes.
Yeah, dude.
She's so funny. The stuff she says.
I found out
Twitter is always like recommending me like fight videos for some reason. I'm not that much into fighting, but I see like this trans person beating the living daylights out of a woman because she told it to get out of the bathroom. Like, this is a woman's bathroom, and the guy just beat her up, and nobody did anything.
It's like, dude, that's a man beating a woman.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
With his discarded member just going bam, bam, like a flashlight. It's like, dude.
No, here's my problem. A lot of these guys, they don't even have the surgery down there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like the Leah, the swimmer.
Yeah.
No surgery down there.
All you have to do is set through a video once about what the surgery does.
Dude, that guy's a dude.
Kind of make.
By the way,
a little rough.
still dating biological women.
Oh, of course.
Still dating biological women.
It's a lesbian.
Finished in the 200s in swimming in the men's sports. Finished at the top. Finished number 1 in women's.
Yeah.
That, you know what that sounds like? It sounds like a very dedicated cheater to me.
I think you're going to see. I think you're going to see it's going to be exactly like the steroid era in baseball.
Yeah.
There'll just be some records that'll be negated,
Annihilated.
once people come to a little bit more common sense.
Sadly, I think it's going to have to. I mean, I mean, what are we going to do?
Yeah. I mean, can't women pick it up?
Man, there is a
I found out the other day that there's actually such a thing as Cracker Jill.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
What a story, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is Cracker Jill. I saw him at the store the other day.
Yeah.
Instead of Cracker Jacks, it's Cracker Jills. Yeah.
It's Cracker Jacks without the nuts.
Oh, yeah, a nutless cracker.
Cracker Jill. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And they're looking for somebody to be a spokesperson representative for them.
Oh no.
I'll do it.
I think you
What's so funny about that, Randy?
Yeah.
Why can't I be the spokesperson for
You definitely
Cracker
can.
Jill?
Definitely can.
Yeah.
If Dylan Mulvaney can be woman, can be the spokesperson for freaking tampons, I can be the spokesperson for Cracker Jill.
I wish I could feel sorry for Bud Light at the moment, but I just can't.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the commercial.
Yeah.
Where somebody puts up a sign that says "Play stupid games, win stupid prizes,"
Yeah, dude.
and then goes, "We're sorry."
Yeah, but guys, what do you think? Like, this is like
slams a beer, and
Do you guys think that this is finally like the Emperor has no clothes moment with all this?
Oh no,
ridiculousness.
No.
I hope so, but I don't.
I hope so too. But
I think we're gonna go further down the rabbit hole. To be honest with you,
before we get to that moment,
Libertarian hasn't kicked in yet.
yeah.
But it's coming. Like, I feel it's coming.
Nicholas Gear was the first one here this morning. Howdy.
Nicholas.
He says only 18 minutes late. Not bad.
Yeah, there
Your pay will be docked.
Oh,
ouch!
Dang. I was worried about that.
That hurts.
We got comic book black belt in the house. Good morning.
Russ.
Welcome, Russ
I don't even
Leach.
think
We
I
got
punched
Glenn.
in this morning.
Yeah, I think I forgot to clock in too. Man, I actually, with all that doing, I deserve a bonus for all that dealing with that crap this morning.
There you go.
Oh man, I'll tell you what, dealing with
Getting
those
the hamstring.
Russian gremlins, as Russ brings up. Yeah, that could be tough. Yeah, Glenn's in the house. Welcome, Glenn. Better late than never. Yeah, it is. That's that's what they tell me. Better late than never. Welcome, Carol Callers. It's nice to have you here today.
Very telling name, Carol. Awesome.
Gremlins are never that far away.
what they
Critical
do.
blast, sizzle. Finally got the sizzle this morning. Not as much sizzle as we normally do.
Yeah.
I actually had somebody commenting on one of my posts. I had mentioned their bacon, and I don't know if they were just trying to jokingly troll me or if they really are, like they really do hate people that eat meat. Like they think it's like a really truly evil thing. But they left some comments, and I didn't know how to respond. So I'm like, I don't know.
If you have bacon in your title, somebody has been triggered.
Yeah, I think it might have actually triggered somebody, and I mean that's not the point. We do celebrate
being
bacon
sarcastic.
and eating meat here as a carnivore.
Yeah.
I'm a very, very proud meat eater, and I think that we should be able to celebrate who we are and what we identify as in every way possible. Have you heard about the councilman here in Indiana that identifies as a lesbian
Oh yeah, read that.
Indian
Yeah,
woman?
black Indian woman. No, actually,
Indian
lesbian
woman.
woman of color. Yeah. I
Yeah,
read
a lesbian woman of color. Yeah.
Yeah, I read the article.
Yeah.
Genius, man. His take on that and the rebuttals that he's using just exposes the whole.
And he still wants his pronouns to be he, him, though.
Dude, that guy is playing judo chess right now.
Judo chess.
Judo chess.
Yeah, he really is.
Yeah.
Like when I read that, I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And the
best
thing
is
is
the
that
reverse Uno.
He's probably trying to make a statement.
the
Yeah.
lamestream media have to report on it, and they have to say that
Destroy all their own arguments.
this woman of color
Yeah, they set up the rules, and now they have to look ridiculous.
Yeah, and he said, I'm really glad to be bringing some diversity to the city council. No kidding, he said
definitely
it for real.
trolling city
Oh my
council.
God,
yeah.
this
He
is
said it
awesome,
for
man.
real, I
Gotta be
kid you not,
trolling.
that's what he
Oh,
said.
man.
Welcome, Apex Comics is here. Grey
Hey,
Wolf
what's up, Apex?
Graphics is in the house, welcome. It's great to have you here. Grey Wolf says, Pedro, I'd prefer hot weather over cold weather.
Yeah.
I grew up in Indiana, I moved to Tennessee to get away from the cold winter, still too cold in Tennessee.
Dude, you're
Can be
welcome
very
to come
cold
to
in Tennessee.
Panama anytime, brother. The thing is, like, come from January to March because it's very breezy and it's not raining, so it's like the best time to visit Panama. If not, you're gonna get like 8 months of rain, like 7 months of rain, like nonstop. It can if you didn't grow up with that, it can get on your nerves because it's really loud, like huge raindrops. It's deafening.
Yeah.
Monsoons.
Apex Comics, you're not going to get any argument from us. We agree with you entirely.
Yep.
So instead,
The only...
Hell,
come,
Red
over,
Dress.
come over to
Get in the
Canada,
house.
and we'll you do ice sculptures all year round.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I
there you
lived
go.
in
Yes.
Vancouver, man. I lived in Vancouver for 2 years. I know exactly what you mean. And Vancouver is not that cold. Like I can tell you that outright. When I got invited to Saskatchewan, I wanted to rip my own head off. It was just like, dude, this is not
Saskatchewan.
normal.
I am from Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan. Yeah,
Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan.
The only guy I want to see in a dress is Chris Evans himself, and not the not the Captain America version, but the real Chris Evans, the Mr. Red Dress Press himself.
Oh yeah,
Welcome,
sir.
my friend. Hell, it's nice to have you here.
Mhm.
Tree Goblin's in the house. Welcome, welcome. And
What's up?
Russ is telling me why I can't be the spokesperson.
Dude,
Because he
you guys
has
did-
these nuts.
I mean, that can get in the way. I mean, but lately, it's not that much of a hurdle. They're like celebrating their female bulge or something.
Hey, what's the difference?
Yeah, look at my female penis. It's like, dude, what are you
Look.
saying?
When you say a woman can have a bulge, that's ridiculous. Growing up, I always knew that it was easier for someone to sit on an empty box than it was for them to sit on a sack of nuts.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you guys hear about the
Just gonna let that sink in.
remember the poker situation?
Who?
Which
I'm
one?
sorry, the what?
The gentleman that sat in an all females poker tournament, and he
Oh
won
yeah, dude, he cleaned house.
something like, what was it? What was the Pedro? Do you remember the price or how much the prize money was?
It wasn't that big. It wasn't that big. It was, but it was in the thousands. And but the guy like cleaned house, and everybody's mad. He's like, I identify as a woman.
Another cheater.
And
Someone's
he was
laying
like
the
a
system.
big burly guy with like
Yeah, dude.
yeah, he was massive.
But here's the
looked
thing,
like
you can't
one-
question that now.
Yeah, dude.
No.
They set the precedent
Yeah.
that you can't question that.
But
Whether
for
someone's
for
just
you
trying to
guys get-
cheat or what.
Yeah,
Yep.
for you guys to get a mental image, like imagine Wilford Brimley, the actor,
Oh my gosh.
identifying
yeah,
as a woman playing poker.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what
yeah,
it was.
woman.
Yeah,
Call me she. It's ma'am.
it's ma'am. Exactly.
Kirk will ask, we need to clip a clip of Peter Brady as a sunshine girl selling cookies. That would be great to see.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. We got Hojo in the house. Welcome, Hojo. It's great to see you here. That councilman, can Conbreed ain't done in the
cornbread.
middle.
Cornbread. Probably
Oh,
cornbread.
cornbread.
That councilman's cornbread ain't done in the middle.
Yeah.
Office
Yeah.
meds. LOL.
Office mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah,
I
this
think
is
he's
very
trying to make a
calculated.
very clear point. Bravo to him. I mean her.
I mean, yeah. I know he wants it. He is him pronouns.
And you think that there would just be an open poker tournament, that it wouldn't have to be gender specific?
Yeah, it shouldn't be gender
Because
specific.
it's not
Yeah,
really an
that
athletic
was
event.
weird.
It's more of a psychological event.
Yeah, it's on who's going to be a better
Liar.
liar. Really, is what it is, right? I guess he just proved men are better liars.
Yeah.
In my experience,
Yes.
yeah,
Look,
You don't even have to say it,
yeah.
Pedro. We know
Thank
what you mean.
yeah.
You know,
I have an
I'm
ex-wife.
I'm a firm believer that that these guys, like, I mean, if you look at it, the top woman in the country is a man. The top athlete in the country, woman athlete in the country, is a man. You know, you start seeing all of these things where the top female this is actually a biological man. This is just more this is just more suppression of women. This is more this is really truly about women's rights. And nothing burns my toast more than watching a biological man who identifies as a woman mansplaining feminism and being a woman to a biological woman. I'm like, are you serious? Are you serious? I'll tell you, it's a privilege to be a man.
Oh yeah.
And it's a privilege to be a woman. And
But it's a privilege to be a man in Latin America. I can say that.
Yeah, it is.
Privilege to breathe oxygen.
Yeah.
It's a privilege to breathe oxygen.
Yeah.
And I do believe that anyone should be able to feel free to live inside their skin the way that they want to. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean that we have to live inside of your delusions with you. It doesn't mean that we need to adapt our lives to cater to your feelings. You being happy with you and your skin is important, but your feelings and how I affect those, that's your business. That's not mine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I saw this video. It says 5 ways to support your fat friend, and I disagree with all of them. As the fat friend, I disagree with all of them. I'm like, that's stupid. Like, one of them was make sure that you could park close. Make sure there's no stairs. Dude, I'm fat. I need stairs. Right? Like, come on. Like, if you're going to help me live a little bit longer, that'd be great. I said, what we need is, we need 5 ways to support your asshole friends.
Yeah.
You know, let's think of that. Like, how can we support them? You know, because they deserve to be themselves too.
Yeah, but what really rubs me the wrong way is that we, like, the fact that we don't adhere to their ideas, or we don't love them, and some don't want to have sex with them, they equate that to genocide. Like, you're killing me. Like, I'm not killing you. I'm just not acknowledging your fancies. Yeah. That's all I'm doing.
Apex Comics has it.
Yeah. This
is a woman's war. They're going to have to. We can support them, but we can't fight that war for them.
No,
they're the ones that's going to have to stand up and speak out, because the dichotomy that has been created, eliminates our valid arguments in many cases from being part of the logical discussion around this.
Yeah.
And when someone removes logical discussion, you know you're in crazy town. We are smack dab in crazy town, folks.
Yeah, dude. And that's the thing. Like, and the argument is coming from their neck of the woods.
Yep.
That whole movement of inclusion and whatnot, it wasn't created by the NRA or created by the NFL or whatever. It's just like this whole inclusive, they created this problem. Mm-hmm. So at this point, I don't want to be an a-hole for that fact, but I just say it. It's not my fight. It's not my fight, ladies.
Men lecturing women on femininity is like Stevie Wonder judging a firework competition.
Yeah,
unqualified.
Yeah.
And yes, all the Gen Xers say, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever. 5 ways to support your asshole friends. Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. There's 3 of them.
There's 3. We're missing 2, Nick.
Thank you, Nick. Oh my gosh, I love you, Nick. You came in at the perfect time.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you are amazing. I miss you so bad on the show.
That's awesome, man. That was awesome, man.
I know 5 ways to how to support my asshole friend. I can like, share, and subscribe.
Subscribe, yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude, you're perfect. That is awesome. I appreciate it. Apex goes, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever. So here's a couple fun things to talk about today, and we're gonna get into another bit of a conversation. The topic today is we're just getting started. We're gonna talk about the amount of time it takes to build up a comic book series and that kind of stuff. So we're gonna kind of get into some of our stories and kind of recount some of our experience on building up, you know, a brand or or working in things like that. So we'll all have various degrees of input on that.
Let me get my notepad out here and take some notes.
But until we get there, let's look at a couple of articles here from ICV2. Again, the reason why we like to use ICV2 here is because it's not an opinion group site like Bounding into Comics, Bleeding Cool, Bleeding Fool. A lot of these people will try to dismiss those as not a legitimate news source. What we try to do is give our opinion and our reflection from years of experience on articles that are coming out from the website that everyone in the industry, as far as retailers and professionals go, consider a legitimate source. This is like going to I don't know what the equivalency would be. Like maybe it's like going to the CDC directly for information. I don't know. Because the CDC lied their butts off, didn't they?
Yeah.
We know that now.
That's a rabbit hole you probably don't want to pursue.
Yeah. I mean, try to think all the people that we thought were reputable sources telling us things over the last 2 years, 3 years. All of it's turned out to be like, whatever.
It was all bunk.
Yeah.
It's all terrifying, really, because you're supposed to be able to trust these people.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, it's an illusion. Like, you're really not supposed to. And they have proven it time and time again.
It's gotten to the point where it's like believing politicians.
Yeah, exactly.
All of the government agencies are like that anymore.
And
You
that's
have to go out and find the actual facts in order to understand what's going on.
And that's another like advantage I have from growing up here. And I'm not calling you guys naive, but you definitely don't trust politicians down here. Because the thing is, like, for example, Panama is so small that you grow up with them, like you see them. And it's like, dude, this guy has been in Cuba since he's like 9 years old. Like, he's no good. And it's like, vote for me. It's like, dude, okay, whatever. You need to live off of something. So that's how we see politicians down here. So whenever I hear anything, my default is a skepticism right away. And that kind of saves you from a lot of shenanigans, man.
Yeah. Glenn says, hang on, guys. I just got to go to the fridge for a Bud Light.
Get your pumps, Glenn.
Oh, man, Bud Light stepped in it, didn't they?
You'll know he's drank it when he switches his name to Gwen Fleming.
Yeah.
Gwen Fleming.
Gwen did it.
So, it takes a long time to build up a brand.
Oh, yeah,
and it takes just a very short amount of time to destroy one.
One woke marketer to tear it all up.
Oh, dude. Can you imagine
gosh.
how that poor lady's feeling right now? That poor marketing chick.
Oh, no. She's happy with herself.
She's independently wealthy already. So
yeah, she is.
From a wealthy family and all that. So, anyway,
but, man, she just, I mean.
I would wager.
Yeah,
as most folks would say, she's throwing her white privilege around.
Yeah. I don't know.
You know what? In that case, she might be.
Play stupid games. Get stupid prizes.
Win stupid prizes. These people grow up not being told no or corrected when they're wrong. That's yeah. That's the problem with America. Tell your kids no. Tell them no. I'm really good at saying no to my kids.
No, the thing is, aside from the wealth independence, I mean, she reminds me at the end, like Robin Hood Men in Tights. Like from now on, all the toilets are going to be known as John. So she is going to be known as the lady who killed Bud Light, no matter what she does.
Yeah, it's going to be a something that people talk about, and it's going to be in school. Forever. Yeah, it's going to be in. It's going to be professionally spoken about. I actually know a marketing professor, and I'm interested to hear her take on this. In fact, I might actually text her today and ask her, say, hey, what's your thoughts on this Bud Light debacle?
Fiasco.
Yeah, because it's not even fiasco. It's a complete debacle.
Yeah.
I mean, because as a marketing student, what you learn is how to communicate a person's like a company's brand.
No. In marketing, you're supposed to learn.
Right. Yeah.
Nowadays, who knows?
Yeah. So So Critical Blast is referring to my little adventure that I had yesterday. I didn't tell you guys this. So it was early Wednesday morning, about 3:30, about 3:20. our ring goes off. And we didn't think anything of it, you know, because it'd been windy. And we thought, it's probably just the wind chimes, you know, setting it off. And about 25 minutes later, it goes off again. And so my wife opens up the Ring app to look at the camera. She wakes me up. She goes, Luke, there's a person standing on our back porch, and they've been there for like an hour. And I'm like, what? And I look over, and here's this person in a dark hoodie with their hood pulled up, and I can't see their face or anything. They're just sitting there, just swaying slightly. And I was like, oh, hell no. They did not get a warm Christian welcome, that's for sure. Nice. So I grabbed the gun, and me and the dog, we're barking the whole way down the stairs. I pretty much just slide down the stairs because, you know, I'm not very fast. But I just like, you know, I just take them like on my heels, which I'm paying for now. But the dog's right there with me, and I swear we were both barking. I kept saying, "Get him, Layla. We're gonna get him. We're gonna get him, Layla." Like I was, you wouldn't have known I was crippled. You wouldn't have known. I mean, I went right for it. We went to that door, and I was like, and I looked out, and I didn't see anyone when I looked through the glass. They were gone. So I opened the door, and then all of a sudden they popped from around the corner, right back up in front of me. And I said, "What are you doing here? Like, what do you think you're doing?" And they look up at me with these deadpan eyes, no soul inside, and said, "I'm sorry I missed it." And looked back down at their hands and was like holding this little trinkety thing. And I said, "What?"
Thick as hell.
Like, what? And so my gun comes down. I'm like, at this point, I'm like, what? What are you saying? And I look over and I see this other car off to the side. I said, look, you're at the wrong house. This ain't the place for you. You ain't going to find nothing you want here. You need to get going. And so I sent them on their way. And so I don't know what was going on with that. You know, we saw that other car leave later. Found out that they had prior to that, they had been on my neighbor's porch for an hour, just hanging out there. Yeah. That was future Luke trying to go back in time to fix something, and he missed the event. Maybe it was. I don't know, man. They were small. It was a small person. And, and I was like, I kept calling her, I call it a she. And my daughter's like, well, you don't know. And I'm like, look, the frame was very petite. So, yeah.
What was the trinket? Did you get a good look at it? Or not?
Yeah, I did. I was in that situation where I was taking in every bit of detail. I was completely mentally alert. And I was like, you're either high or you're up or you're trying to trick. Like you're trying to be, or it's trickery. And I'm not falling for anything right now. Yeah, it was a little beaded, like medallion thing. So it's like, looked like it had been made out of craft beads with some safety pins and things.
That sounds like witchcraft, Luke.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did a little bit.
Witches on Luke's store.
Yeah. I'm sorry I missed it. And I said, I'm sorry. I said, so you didn't miss nothing here. Yeah. I said, you get going. Go on. And they didn't want to go. I said, no. I said, get going. It took me about 5 minutes to get them to leave.
It was obviously his dimensional transporter, and it was broken.
Right.
Should have told him he needed to go 2 universes to the left and do it now.
I would have given him like a cautionary bird shot.
Yeah.
Just a cautionary to the leg.
Any human hand or what the trinket looked like. Yeah. I'll tell you this. When they looked me in the eye, my blood went cold. It was creepy. And I went upstairs, and after it was over, I went upstairs and I sat down, put my gun away. And my wife and daughter are like, what did they say? And I told them. And they go, that's creepy. And I go, yeah, it was really creepy.
Should have made a friendly call to the local cops.
Yeah, witchcraft met with a shotgun. Yeah. Well, if they're not doing anything, you can't call the cops on them. They didn't do anything illegal.
Property, they're on your porch.
Oh, they're trespassing though.
But but they didn't try to get
And they looked
in.
like
They didn't.
if you said they were soulless, they were looking to cause trouble.
They didn't. They didn't touch anything.
Mm.
They were
Like,
just
that's the
standing
thing.
there.
They were just standing there,
Maybe she
and
was
they walked
drugged
around the
out or
car a
something.
little bit, back and forth.
Your
But,
car or their car?
My car.
That's suspicious.
Yep.
It is suspicious, and so yeah,
Well,
we've
I
notified
think your car-
authorities. We've notified authorities in the neighborhood watch of what's going on. Both videos have been published, ours and the neighbors, and yeah, hit witchcraft with a shotgun. Actually, it was a 38 special,
Oh, nice.
and I went on my gut a few weeks ago, and I was like, hey, for Easter I'm buying a new gun, and so I went and I bought a new gun, and I'll tell you what, it was one of those things where I'm glad I'm going with my gut these days.
Yeah.
It was crazy, man.
I mean,
I was one of the black-eyed kids.
Yeah, getting
Yeah.
a handgun in Panama is really hard, but you can get shotguns, no problem. So that's what we have here.
Yeah, and you should, because you never know what's going to come to your door
Exactly.
at 3 o'clock in the morning or even 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And it was, so it was, I mean, thankfully they didn't seem, I determined pretty quickly that they weren't a physical threat. But they stared right down the barrel of that gun when they looked at me, and they didn't even acknowledge that it was there.
Yeah, the drugs
I
must
don't
have
know.
been really good.
Yeah,
They didn't acknowledge that it was there. They just stared me right in the eye, and I was like, whoa, you're jacked up.
I mean, there's a new batch of fentanyl called Rainbow, and that's driving people nuts. So
I felt bad. I felt bad for him,
Yeah.
but we were trying to see like where they went, and it looked like they'd gotten in that truck. Someone was driving that truck and took them away. So I don't that's the part that bothers me.
Yeah, that's
because I was waiting for somebody to try to come around the corner and bust into the house, because
Right.
I'm aware of that, someone will come up, distract, and then someone will come in, from a peripheral, will break in, and so that's why I kept my grip tight on that gun, man. I wasn't playing any pounds, I mean, between me, me snarling and the dog snarling, I think they figured out it wasn't the right place to be, because the dog was right. She was locked on my hip, just "Arr, arr."
nice.
I mean, she was like, and she kept me
Dogs are
from
the
falling
best.
down the stairs too. I'm like, now that dog, she earned all kinds of treats
Yeah.
on Wednesday. I was like, yeah, you're my favorite puppy. Oh, she's such a good puppy.
Oh.
Yeah, she got all kinds of treats, man. Yeah, I was like, good job, girl. Yeah. But yeah, it was pretty weird. I mean, it was just weird.
Yeah.
And so we're working with the neighborhood watch to try to figure out what's going on there and take care of that. Number one, trespassing is something. Two, always call the cops and report first, because cops believe the first story. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. I mean, I'll try to send you the file. I think it's a strung out kid. I think that's what it was. Just some strung out kid that was out there. I mean, it was so cold too. They were just wearing an American Eagle hoodie, and it was like
Oh, dude.
32 degrees, like 33 degrees or something like that. It was really cold.
Ugh.
And I was like, man, you're going to freeze to death. But, when I saw that truck over there, I was like, well, I'm pretty sure you're with them. So you've been standing up here for a long time for them to be waiting out there. This isn't right, So yeah, we're, it's been reported. Everything's been reported. I think it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. And if not, we have everything loaded and ready to go.
Yeah,
here.
you have a dissuader, let's just say.
We have 3 trained people, and Gavin's getting ready to get some training in a couple weeks at the range. So he's pretty excited about it. My wife and my daughter are amazing shots. They're better than I am, and it pisses me off. They can hit a target without even thinking. Like, it's just automatic for them. I got this video of my wife shooting a 45 at the range. It's I can't watch it. It gets me all flutter-pated.
Twitter-flated.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh.
Twitter-pated.
Yeah, Twitter page. So here in 2022, kids graphic novels were the second largest part of the graphic novel market after manga. Did you know that?
Yeah.
They are growing faster in comic stores than in book channels. So kids are actually going to bookstores to get
Well, that's
graphic
nice.
novels for themselves. That is great, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think more comic book stores need to look at that. Based on recent data analyzed by ICV2, the analysis looked at 2021 and 2022 data on graphic novels in the book channel provided by Circana Bookscan and in comic stores provided by Comic Hub. Based on the analysis, 2022 kids graphic novels dollar sales in comic stores were up 20.1%. That's a huge deal, guys.
Yeah.
That's a big percentage
Yeah.
over sales in 2021. Nearly 10 times the 2.3% growth rate in the rate in the book channel. So in the book channel, the kids graphic novels went up 2.3%. In comic book stores went up 20.1%. Huge numbers.
It'll be very interesting to see how 2023 runs, because I don't think there was a Dogman book out in 21 or 22.
You know what would be really funny?
Right.
How Marvel and DC are gonna like spin this to say comics are doing great, guys. Like this is not you
Comics are
anymore.
booming. Yeah.
Well, I don't know that they're going to try to spin it to do that. I think if they're going to be, if they're smart, what they're going to do is start doing more
Exactly.
graphic novels aimed towards kids.
I think they're just going to ignore it.
Yeah, the thing is, like, they have demonstrated time and time again that they're not smart. So
Well, we've already learned that the Predators, we're very sure that the Predators are using this method. You know, they're going for kids novels. I mean, that's why. The art that appeals to kids, you know, the subject matter they're trying to reach kids. People are trying to indoctrinate kids because they understand that market is growing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, plus it's impressionable.
it is very impressionable.
And with parents out there, if they don't care, if they're not watching what their kids are doing or reading, they're going to have problems. It's just that simple.
But, you know, what does need to be noted is that even the 2.3% growth rate for kids' graphic novels in the book channels outpaced the overall 1.8% growth rate of graphic novels last year.
Well, there's a lot of outside reasons for that. But quite frankly, in the direct market, it's because of the product quality of the mainstream books and the fact that Funkos are starting to die out. And there hasn't been I don't think there's been a really landmark RPG in a long, long time. I could be wrong about that because I don't pay that much attention to that market. But what else are the direct market retailers going to sell that has any type of quality to it?
You know, I can't think of anything.
You know, those
What are
Scholastic books have merit.
What are the books that are the ones that are selling, like the kids' graphic novels?
Dogman and Cool Cat Comic Club.
Yeah, those are the huge
Even
ones
I haven't
right there.
seen a book from Raina Telgemeier in a long time either.
it doesn't
She
need
usually
to,
does
man.
older YA graphic novels.
Well, let's see real quick. We'll go to the Pro Scan, Pro Article
It's
Comics.
younger kids, you know.
And then let's see the top authors manga. So this is March 2023. This is the you're looking at. This is all manga stuff.
Manger.
Plus,
Manga.
visibility is a big key as well. And I was in Walmart yesterday, I'm afraid to say, looking for a printer for my system that apparently is a unicorn anymore because I'm on Windows XP. But there was
How are you on that?
Oh, yeah. But I ran across a tremendously huge cardboard point of purchase display right in the middle of the main aisle. Large red display, nothing but Scholastic books. Dogman, Cool Cat Comic Club, those books for it was like $9.08 or $9.20, something like that. And they're normally $13-15 bucks a hit.
Lower than $10 for graphic novel.
They're right there.
Here's what you're looking at: Dogman, Cat Kid, Babysitters Club, Dogman, Babysitters, Dogman, Five Nights at Freddy, Cat Kid, Five Nights at Freddy, Dogman.
Cat
Investigators.
Kid Comic Club.
Yeah.
Folks, that's got a
Doesn't it teach kids how to draw?
$12.99. It's got a $12.99 suggested retail price on it. Anybody out there that's into comics, I'm just telling you, as silly as it sounds, you need to dig up this book and read it, because Dave Pilkey is literally changing the face of comics. I'm dead serious.
He's creating future
especially
creators.
is amazing. Yeah, because it teaches kids how to do comics. Not just that, but it tells them to stretch their imagination. And if you can make me large again. First book especially.
That's what she said.
First book especially has how to draw my dog's poop.
Yeah.
Right in it.
Nice.
Sleepy
That's
poop,
awesome.
Winnie the Poop. All sorts of stuff.
That's funny.
The whole first book is
I'm
going
to do a series of pinups all poop.
And the style is so simple, it makes me want to jump in the river, but it's really effective.
Poop Baka.
Ubaka. Nice.
Bat
Poop
poop,
Baka.
spider poop,
Bubba
poop.
Nice.
Storm pooper.
Storm.
How great is that? Pirate
That
poop.
is great, man. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Every stage you need, and then
Welcome, Amanda B.
make it your own.
Hey, Amanda.
Yeah, I thought she was doing her own books for a while. I know she did a couple of babysitter clubs, but I haven't really gone in and looked. But like I said, if you find this, it's the first book, Cat Kid Comic Club. You need to pick it up and read it, because it is eye-opening. Because the teacher in there is a large kind of fish crab type character, and she freaks out at the kids doing their own comics, because they've got ninjas in it slicing people up and fart jokes and all sorts of stuff. And she's like, no, we can't do that. We can't. We're in school, and we have to, there's a decorum or a sense of decency we have to do. And then the kids convince her by the end of the book that this is a way for them to vent and for them to get their emotions out on paper without doing it physically in the real world. And she goes, at the end, she's like, let's draw comics with poop in it. Let's draw comics with farts in it. These are funny. Let's go. That kind of stuff. It's really an interesting
Great story. And so here's the thing. You've got Teen Titans Robin from DC Comics scraping in at number 20.
Said, yeah.
And, if
everything
if
else,
they're
look
smart,
at that. Dogman, Babysitter's Club, Dogman. Yeah.
Look at the publisher. It's all graphics.
Pick
Except
this
for
up at
first second got in there.
Picked this up at Sam's Club a couple months ago. Barb, the Last Berserker. And the drawings are simplistic, but it's a graphic novel story fantasy book about a female barbarian with a sword and her abominable snowman friend. Fun.
Yeah.
A lot of what comics are missing are right there. I mean, so-called mainstream comics.
And again, this is of the 125 stores that use Comic Hub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that we saw that, but that's a huge increase, and we know that overall the increase is there. So, what should we do?
Draw more poop.
I think maybe people have always said comics is for kids. Maybe we should start doing some more comics for kids.
Well, he's the Scholastic is raising an entire generation of comic readers that aren't going to be hardcore superhero fans.
Oh,
Is what it is. They'll read some superhero books, but they're not going to be as fanatical about it as we used to be, because they'll be drawing about everything else.
and it's fine to do that. Like I liked all this other stuff.
Look, can you highlight what Nick just said?
I'm sorry. I'm not looking at that.
You can't have
Yeah, I'm
steak all the
sorry.
time.
It's just that I always get hit with this argument, and I'm not taking it out on anybody who's friends about LGBT. I'm just saying, dude, I don't partake in your thing. That shouldn't be an issue. That's something they have to solve themselves. I'm not attacking anyone, and I'm not gonna take that responsibility. I'm sorry, and I love you, Nick. You're not gonna lose me as a friend, but this is my point of view. Sorry, we can continue now.
To say a word on that, at this point now, it's sad to see the state of the world has gotten to a point where you're going to have to make laws about common sense.
Yeah, exactly. So
And it's common sense that you don't want to mutilate kids, and you don't want to feed them toxins until they're of the right mind. A lot of heavy counseling is necessary. A
Lots.
lot of talking. This is not a decision that you're going to be able to walk back from.
yeah, exactly.
And even with the puberty blockers, they say doesn't hurt anything, but it does. Anytime you interrupt your body's natural flow, there's going to be a problem or a hurdle there somewhere. You might not realize it at the start or feel it right away, but it'll be there eventually. And you want to be extra sure that before that happens. And yes, there are kids out there that are not confused, but that are in the wrong gender. Their brain chemistry is not aligned with what we consider to be normal. Absolutely.
They're exploring and developing.
And yes,
the
they're
things
exploring and
even,
developing.
Even adults will change their mind. So I don't think that's a good moment for them to be taking any decisions.
Well, I think the last study that was out is 83% of the kids that transition early before they're really through puberty regret that decision in the long run.
Yeah, exactly.
Because a lot of these kids are gay.
Well, there's a
and that needs to be explored, and that needs to be explored by counseling.
There's a gal that my daughter follows she's 21 years old, and she talks about how her parents were coerced into giving her surgeries when she was 16 years old to remove her breast and give her hormones.
Yeah, dude.
And she talks about now how her vocal cords hurt every day, and how her body is weak at 21 years old, how she has to deal with this, when what she needed was more counseling and more care,
right?
And not surgery. And that they said that the surgery and that the hormones, that was care, and they lied. So that wasn't the care that I needed then, because now I'm living in, now I've got this really crappy life ahead of me. She's 21 years old. I can't imagine what it's going to be like thinking 21 now the rest of my life. I'm never going to be able to have kids. I'm never going to be able to do this. I'm always going to feel this way. I'm always going to, I'm never going to be able to feel like who I am now because of a decision made when I was 16 years old.
Right.
And I think we need to protect kids.
I'm waiting
especially
for the dinosaur surgeries to start coming out. People.
Dude, there are people who are doing like reptile modifications to themselves, like forking their tongues and doing like scale tattoos and
look.
if
you're a grown person,
yeah,
making that decision, that's fine. But we need to be protecting our kids, especially the LGBTQ and gay. All these kids, because they haven't truly figured out who they are yet.
Even their parents aren't going to know who they are either.
No.
They need counseling. I mean, thorough, investigative, not drugs, but they need to be reasoned with an experienced, informed counselor who can help guide them into those decisions maturely and informed.
Well, therein lies the danger, right? Because
that is
these counselors and psychologists and stuff are in on the take or out for profit or trying to sell like a drug of some kind or for a pharmaceutical company.
Yep.
So you don't know who's bought, who's paid for, who's indoctrinated, who isn't.
Yeah.
And
that's why you're going to see a push for laws against that kind of behavior until you're a certain age.
Which I
laws,
think that
laws
is
are
the
not
right
a solution, man. But the laws are not a solution either.
No, but I'm afraid it's going to be necessary because there's a lot of crazy people out there.
Yeah.
And a lot of misinformed people that need to, apparently now, need to be told what common sense is the way it looks.
This young lady said that my parents were coerced. They said, would you rather have a living son or a dead daughter? They convinced the parents that if you don't do this, that your kid is going to commit suicide.
And that's feeding hysteria, man.
It really is. And
good counseling
bothers
keep
me
that from happening. That's the idea.
That's what we need. We need good counselors that are caring and that do have compassion.
Yep.
For these people. Look, I don't hate trans and gay people. I love them, But what I do hate is people manipulating and attacking and hurting other people. These laws are not intended, and the things that we suggest, they're not intended to hurt somebody. They're intended to protect the most vulnerable that we have.
Yeah.
And once you're an adult, growing up not feeling like who you are. Look, I got picked on a lot until I was in the 6th grade. I got picked on every day. Every day. All the way up through the end of the 6th grade. It was maybe it was my 6th grade year. I came in for my 6th grade year. I got picked on all the way up through there. And I remember there were these kids that one day they caught me in the bathroom and they manhandled me and they wound up beating me up and shoving my head in the urinal. And all 3 of these guys pissed on my head. And I had to walk around school the whole day smelling like urine. Everyone making fun of me. And I remember, so the next year, after that summer, man, I had a growth spurt that summer. And I went from a little scrawny kid. I mean, genetics kicked in. And I became a giant. And they did not. Okay? They didn't grow an inch.
Yeah.
And so when we came back, I'm in the bathroom, and those 3 guys come in, and I look at them, and I said, "Oh, I think we got a score to settle."
Nice.
Not proud of it. I was not saved, but let's just say those 3 guys never messed with anybody smaller than them again. All right, we made sure of it, and I started standing up for the ones that were being picked on. Like, I was bigger than all the bullies, and so I would on the regular get in trouble because I was beating someone up, and I wasn't beating up someone that didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was laying down the law for people. I was like, no, this is happening. Like, you're not going to mess with these people anymore. The little ones were my friends, like they were all like, one of us has elevated himself to godhood. It's like,
Yeah.
but that's, so I have a compassion for these people to defend the most vulnerable that we've got. And the kids are the most vulnerable, man. They're not young enough to make these decisions yet. And it's not fair what they're doing. And we need to have this. And I'm so sick of these moms. They used to be the pageant moms. They would exploit their kids, right? Now you've got moms that are exploiting their gender dysphoria kids.
Yeah.
Trying to get out there and they're making a mockery of what it is that some people really truly go through.
What do they call
And
it?
it is disgusting.
Dude, it's
Munchausen by proxy.
Yes.
for them it's a badge.
On some of that, yeah.
It's like the bumper sticker parents, right?
Yeah, like I'm a proud parent of a
Yep.
judo practitioner or whatever. Like it's the same
Welcome, Agent Zero.
thing.
Well,
Just
it's
as good for
kind
you,
of
Luke. I'm
sad
still waiting on my
when you
growth
see
spurt.
these political parties go from think of the children to think of the pharmaceutical companies and the doctors.
Yeah.
It's really
Think
sad
about,
to
like-
see.
It's like it's all connected, really. Like every aspect of all this stuff. You got through social media, you got people just pumping out narcissist after narcissist. You got bullying online that twists perceptions of things. Peer pressure. You got the Munchausen by proxy. You got people posting gender affirming or like gender reveal things for clout online. It just never ends.
Yeah.
It's all
It started
TikTok's
with you
fault.
can be
It's all
whatever you
TikTok's
want.
fault.
Clearly, a person cannot. But here's a nice segue. Thank you, Russ. I want to identify as the president of DC.
There we
right
are.
now, Jim Lee does. Jim Lee got promoted as the president of DC Publishing.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers Discovery has promoted Jim Lee, the CCO and publisher of DC, to president of the company. He will hold all 3 titles. Oh my gosh, like
They've whittled the stick down to 1.
Yeah, dude.
That's what it is. He's the last one left standing. Probably
So
the one
much
with the best
power.
contract. Yeah.
But so much power over what, really?
he can allow the licensings.
Yeah, exactly.
He can send characters to Todd McFarlane to be redesigned and turned into toys.
Unleash,
Girl.
unleash the lunchboxes. Do it now.
Yeah, that's good.
More lunchboxes. If he's smart, he'll start doubling down on kids' graphic novels. Start telling some fun stories again. But I don't know that he's going to do it. Look, Jim Lee's a
we know he's
fantastic
not.
artist.
Yeah.
He's a great artist, but I don't know that he's a great publisher. That's all I got to say about that. I don't have as much to talk on this subject as I do about the other stuff, I guess.
I saw him at a convention one time putting on an amazing demonstration where he drew, I believe it was Cyclops and Marvel Girl in about 10 minutes flat. Not like it was nothing, like it was already on the paper. Just sat there, kicked the thing right out, right to the astonishment of the audience. But running a company is a completely different animal.
Yeah. He is a fantastic artist.
He is.
Like I heard a story about him being on vacation and somebody needed a cover in a hurry.
There's a lot
And
of
so he's in the
stories about
hotel.
Tripoli. Anyway,
So he's in the hotel while everyone's asleep. He's drawing a cover, and he knocks out an amazing cover in one night for someone
yeah.
because they needed it in a hurry. And I'm like, wow, I'm sure he got paid well for it too. Hojo says social media has brought out the worst in humanity. Couldn't agree
has.
more with you.
Yep.
It has amplified vanity and suppressed altruism.
It's
And that is very
exactly
true.
what it is. Yep.
I would rather Jim draw. Yeah.
This market is in such a vulnerable stage right now that somebody like Jim Lee could come in and rule. If they had the business sense, if they had the foresight to bring in the right talent, to create the right kind of entertaining books that retailers can sell and sell a lot of. And they've done it in the past. He did it when he was with Image.
But you just said something crucial there, Randy. If they had the foresight.
That's right.
Right now, they don't even have the foreskin to do this.
They have the foreskin.
Yeah.
A lot of-
Cracker Jills, is that what you're saying?
Mm.
Anyway.
I think a lot of that has to do with like inside, pressure from the company, from ideologues.
I don't agree with that at all. I don't think these companies even pay two wits to what the comic publishing end of it does. And that they could turn it around if they wanted to in a heartbeat, because that just makes more movie material for them to exploit.
Fair enough.
It's that simple. Instead of soapboxing all the time and preaching, if they were out there telling good stories that would eventually catch on and sell, they'd be able to exploit those for movies and televisions and underoos, all that they want. And it's not happening. And it's not happening because they don't care. They're not telling them to do that. They're just telling them not to lose any money. That's why Jim's the last one left standing here. He's got 3 huge positions up there that used to be filled by 3 people plus their assistants plus their assistants.
Yeah, exactly.
He's doing it all now.
He's the last man standing.
Yeah.
On a sinking ship.
It's just like what
It's
Russ
what
said
it is.
earlier.
Yeah.
It's only a promotion when the previous position holder has not been made redundant. Very true. And you know
But
what?
somebody in his position, I would love to be where he's at right now, because I would turn the company into something completely different than what it is now, into
Russ-
an entertainment vehicle.
Russ would do a cover at 3 a.m. for $1,000.
Yeah.
You know what? I would do it for less than that. So, I mean, if you guys need to cover at 3 a.m., I'm cheaper than Russ.
Whoa!
I'm not better than Russ, but I'm cheaper than
That's
Russ.
cheaper than Russ. Yeah, that counts for something.
You can get me on a fast cover for. I'm like the bargain gal on the corner.
We'll see how this company goes under his tenure.
Speaking about bargains,
You know?
let's want to go down to the comments and see what we got. See what's up there. Some bargain comments.
The bar.
Bargain comments. We're in the comments. I don't know what you're talking about.
You mean on the article?
No, on the
In the chat?
chat.
On the
Yeah.
tent?
Yeah, we're already there, man.
Oh, well,
Yeah, I met Jim Lee in a hotel lobby years ago. People had him sign books. I had my, you know what?
Liquor! Our prices have never been lower!
The last convention he was at, he was treated like an e-ticket attraction. You had to go in, get special tickets, stand a special line in order to go in and talk to him at a special time. Only if you had the right number were you able to even allowed to stand in that line. And it was at that show I had a nice talk with Robert Crumb which was one of the last shows he did here in the States, and Harvey Picar, who was grumpy.
Dude, that's so dehumanizing, man. Like, you need a ticket and you go to this digital.
Oh, he was treated
outpost.
like a roller coaster in an amusement park.
Oh, that's horrible.
I think everybody agrees that that he should be drawing. He's so good at it, and he does it so little now because there's so much not so much time when you're running a company.
Well, this is the time he's in charge. This is the time he gets all of his good friends around, all of the people that he loves, and that he knows do incredibly competent work, and give them the cherry assignments. You know, now's the time to see a regular Silvestri book. Now's the time to see,
dude.
you know, all of these people that the retailers already know that they can sell, and kick this stuff out to the direct market and build that back up if they wanted to.
Yeah.
You'll see what he does with the company in the future.
Well, we talked about IDW last week.
And hey, Jim, if you need help running that company, give me a call, because I work cheap.
Well, actually, we didn't
And I
talk
love
about
this
IDW.
industry. You know?
Today is a day for resumes, it seems.
Oh yeah, here's another can of worms, isn't it?
Yeah, we actually had not talked about IDW on here. I did a video about it.
It's because we weren't on last week.
We weren't on last week, so we were. I think this happened after. Let's get to it because it's an older article now. Because it happened. So much has happened.
Cut by 39%. What does that tell you? 39% of their company was completely redundant.
Wiped out, yeah.
That's a third. That's over a third.
Okay, so IDW has been removed from the New York Stock Exchange.
You drop below $1.
Yeah, when you drop
From
the
a penny
low
stock, you're off the
your
exchange.
stock.
Yeah. They were at 80 cents for a long time, and then when they got devalued, they jumped down to 44.
Isn't it like 90 days that your stock is built under $1, and then you get delisted?
That's probably right. I don't know the exact rule.
I think it's 90 days.
Wow, there we go. Man, they're really burying that article. Really burying that article. So here's some things for you to consider. IDW Media. We've been talking about IDW on here for a while now.
Yep.
We've been talking about how I predicted, based on information that Randy has been like criterion stuff that he says that he watches, right? I predicted last year that IDW would fall in 2023. I said they're gonna struggle. We talked about how they only had like 10 grand in their liquid assets.
They have a very fascinating history, though. But they are artificially propped up by people with money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they really are. Mm-hmm. And so check this
venture
out.
capital, yeah.
And now one of their sons, I think, or nephews or something, are actually running the company.
Yeah,
so
let's
we'll see how that
okay.
goes.
Yeah, so IDW Media Holdings is cutting 39% of its workforce, voluntarily delisting from the New York Stock Exchange in America, and replacing its CEO with the largest shareholder's son. The company announced today the move comes after years of losses, including a $2 million loss in the company's fiscal quarter one, ended January 31st. $2 million.
Well, that's actually less of a loss than what they've taken the last 3 or 4 quarters.
It really is.
It's actually an up for them. Yeah.
The company has been bleeding cash. Yep. It had $10 million at the end of its fiscal year, October 31st, 2021, and now it's sitting at $5.7 million today. That is huge. That's a big loss. And $10 million sounds like a lot of money, really. If I had $10 million in Fund My Comics company, I mean, we'd be doing great.
I could make a hell of a comic company out of 10 mil.
Yeah, right? But that's the thing. Like, you got to take into account the overhead, how many employees they have, what are the expenses, and maybe 10 million becomes nothing in 2 months.
Well, that's true, but that's when you're overly top heavy.
Exactly.
Obviously, they feel now that they can do without over a third of their staff employees. This doesn't count freelancers. Freelancers don't count in this.
Yeah,
exactly.
This isn't necessarily going to hurt their output any. This is just showing you how top heavy they became because their buddy decided that they needed an assistant and went out and hired someone.
It's like they have some good IPs under there too, like Sonic the Hedgehog and so on and so forth. Like, how do you go how do you screw that up? You know?
Well, they lost a lot of those IP licenses
Oh,
that were making them money. They don't have a lot of those now.
Well,
They're gone.
They had a good chunk of them yanked from them. Marvel yanked all of the Disney and the Marvel and the Star Wars license also.
Yeah.
Got yanked right out from underneath them, and Hasbro decided to yank the GI Joe and the Transformer license, but they still have My Little Pony and a few
Well, that's
other
something.
ancillary licensings. But
That's something.
The
you go
Brodies
through
are.
when you
They got
go
Teenage
through and you
Mutant-
go
they got the-
against the idea of entertainment. For soapboxing, you're not going to sell a whole lot of books.
Yeah, they got the turtles. They got the turtles.
totally
That's
do,
not doing any
Yeah,
any
not
good for them.
nothing.
So the move comes after months of losses for the company in most business sectors, as reported in the SEC filings. IDW stock opened at 82 cents.
Oh, dude.
Glenn, at the bottom of the comments, if I had 10 million bucks, I'd buy an island someplace and drink red wine whilst watching the sunset, thinking I could write or draw something. Maybe tomorrow.
A regular Silvestri. Heck
Oh
yes.
yeah, dude, that would be awesome.
See, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah,
Not
check
even
this.
even a quarterly Silvestri, something that the retailers knew. Yeah, that something the retailers knew was definite bank. A quarterly Jim Lee book would be amazing as well.
Yeah.
That's all, have a couple of where DC. Hey, Jim Lee, look at Wednesday Comics again. If you're kicking a newspaper out that you're hardly spending any overhead on, and yet there's a copy of it there every Wednesday that's got phenomenal artwork in it that everybody loves reading, you're going to build up an audience for these retailers, and the retailers are going to love you and buy more of your stuff. Mm-hmm. It's that simple.
Come on, guys, start helping out the retailers.
Yeah.
So among the personal changes, Davide Jonas, the son of principal IDW owner Howard Jonas, is replacing Alan Grafman as CEO, and CFO Brooke Feinstein is also out, and Amber Horato has been promoted to COO. I've heard that name before, and I'm afraid I'm not quite sure what she's been attached to.
I wonder if these guys are related to the Jonas Brothers.
I don't know. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
Plus, I never realized IDW had control over Top Cow.
Yeah, and they're considered one of the top 5 comic publishers in the direct market.
Isn't that sad?
You think they can turn it around, or
No.
they're dead in the water?
No.
No, because
it's
they
gonna
kept
be
Heather Antos.
It's going to be a rough ship to turn around.
Not only did they keep Heather Antos, but they promoted Heather
Yeah,
Antos. She's one of their chief editors there.
no,
She's
senior
putting
editor
out
there
content now. Senior editor there now.
Yeah.
The stuff that she's allowing to get it put out, it's not good. I mean,
Yeah, dude.
I honestly, and I'm not trying to say this because I know there's some political things around it or whatever. I just never seen anything that she's done that has made me feel like she is getting the
The care.
due that she's getting.
now. The do?
The due that she's getting.
I think
So, I
she's
mean-
getting exactly what she's... Anyway, go ahead.
No, she's not. Look at what she's getting.
Yeah,
She's getting promoted.
exactly.
She's getting moved around
not
here and
that.
there. No.
We were talking to Whiskey about that earlier. The comic industry has a bad reputation for having people fail upwards.
Yeah, I just don't get it. Like, she hasn't produced anything that would lead me to believe she has earned the status that she currently has.
I think we'd really enjoy reading a book that she's written, which doesn't exist, does it? I don't think
Yeah,
she's ever
dude.
written anything, but she's
I
an
mean-
editor.
Ninjak had awesome art.
I mean,
Didn't you
please, somebody produce for me
Yeah.
a link of something that really is quality from her, and I will change my mind.
Arpil
I
O'Neill.
will.
Check out Arpil O'Neill.
Arpelone, I can't. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. That's part of what I'm talking about. It's just this consistency. But anyway, they also have promoted someone new over there.
Josh Franco.
Josh Frankel.
Josh Frankel is to be IDW CDO. So company promotes co-publishers, editor-in-chief from within following layoffs. IDW publisher, which laid off 30%. So now they're like, oh, it's 30%.
39.
Yeah, it's 39%. Yeah, they're not, that's not reporting this quite correctly.
No.
Of its staff last week amidst
Or
news
maybe
of
they said
declining-
39 to start with, and it only got to be 30.
Oh, they're
Maybe.
rounding it down.
Rounding it way down.
Yeah, 30 still sounds bad.
Closest number is
Yeah.
40%.
Closest to 40 does it? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, well, it starts with a 3, so let's just go
That was
30.
pretty. Yeah.
So amidst news of declining revenues and the delisting of the stock from the New York Stock Exchange, today announced a major organizational restructure. The company has hired Josh Frankel as its new Chief Digital Officer. Frankel was previously the founder and CEO of Z2 Comics
What was
before
that?
leaving the company.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Never have. Nope.
Let's open this one in a new tab. Let's see what Z2 Comics is. Z2 Comics, that looks like Jared from Subway.
Yeah, exactly. That's he's giving me Jared vibes.
That looks like, yeah, it looks like Jared. I would hate if I looked like Jared.
Dude,
This
I
guy,
have a-
Rob Salkowitz.
Music-oriented graphic novels.
Music-oriented graphic novels. I've never heard of them.
They must have a really unique distribution strategy. I've never heard of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, somehow they're getting written about over here.
Yeah.
Over the last few years, Z2 has announced partnerships with the Gorillaz, Weird Al Yankovic, Elvis Presley, Ice-T, Tori Amos. Oh, so this is the company that does the graphic novels that are basically like, kind of like vanity projects for musicians, where they're
all
the
I
heroes.
hear is, "I know famous people love me."
Yeah, that's what I'm getting on that. All right, so this guy has worked with them. So Mark Doyle and Tara McCrillis will be the new co-publishers, like Michael and Jim are co-managers. Because a company works really good when it with two leaders.
Yeah, like the Roman Empire. You have a consul and a proconsul.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the Syrian Empire, when they tried to keep Babylon kind of with its own little king, and then Syria over in Nineveh had their king. Think about it. That went well. I mean, those empires are still around today, right?
Yeah, exactly. At least they're well regarded and remembered.
Norse Empire as well, with the Denmark and England at the same time. That didn't work out very well either.
Yeah. So, Whiskey, when you ask me, do you think that they'll recover? No, not with two leaders. No. And Doyle, a former DC executive editor, came to IDW in 2021 as the editorial director of originals, which, I mean, that's doing really well. How many originals do you know that IDW has? So yeah, he earned a promotion. What the heck, guys? Come on. What are you thinking? This is not like Oni, where Oni made great promotions and put great people in places. This is foolish. In my opinion, just based on what I'm looking at right here.
So not good to invest in.
They were all made redundant from DC. It looks like.
Yeah, dude.
Right. Tara McCrillis.
This is more
was
like
hired
an
in
army who
2019.
lost the war. It's like, you know what? Let's start with the same generals again. It's like,
Yeah, director of design and production at DC.
DC lost 15% of their market share while you were there. You can work for us. Come here.
exactly.
That's
Come on.
good.
You're just what we
They
need.
eliminated all your jobs and
what
just
we
gave them to Jim, the best artist on the
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can draw. He can run the company.
It's like making a clown the ringmaster. Anyway.
Look, here's the deal. Jim is not a terrible businessman. I'm not trying to say that. I'm not trying to dissuade his ability to run a company. What I'm saying is he's more qualified for art. But if Jim Lee is the best person on your team to run your company, you've done something wrong.
Yeah. Okay. So this is something. These are not my words. This is something Artie Bear said, and he knows Jim Lee. He's like, Jim is the best at keeping Jim Lee's interest first.
Yeah.
And that's what he does. So he's not good for the company, but he's good for Jim Lee.
He's really good for Jim Lee. And you know what? That makes sense. I mean, that's what he was as a freelance artist. That's what he was when they left Marvel and DC back in the day when they started up Image. It was about what's best for them. Yeah. And yeah, he's going to do that. And I'm not trying to be disparaging towards his ability to run a company or his business acumen whatsoever. Please don't take it that way.
No, not
What
really.
I'm saying is that if he is the best option, which, I mean, he's not a terrible option, but if he is your best option, you've done something wrong.
Glenn says Jim speaks very highly of you all.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. Jim doesn't even know who I am, right?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes I like keeping
I
it
mean,
that way.
I don't think Jim knows where Panama is. So
He's sitting there in his bedroom or in his office right now crying. He's like, "Dude, Luke doesn't know who I am."
yeah,
Yeah, Luke doesn't think I'm a good president. No, I don't, buddy. Yeah, he cares very little about what I think.
And the thing
And,
is, like, I did
honestly,
the
I
caveat.
care
Like,
very
this
little
is
about
what
what he thinks
Artigar
too.
said. Like, I don't know the guy,
Right? Yeah.
but I see from what's happening that he's taking care of himself. But the comics look like
He is. Yeah,
manure.
the comics look like manure.
Yeah.
Oh, guess what? Another DC alum, James S. Rich, has been promoted to editor-in-chief. Rich came to IDW in 2022 as executive editorial director after a short stint at Tapas. Oh, great, man.
Tapas. Yeah. It's been there less
Tapas.
than a year. Boom.
Tapas, is that like the like
It's like webtoons. Yeah.
competition? Yeah. It's just like with a name like Tapas, because Tapas down here means like ass cheeks. You know?
Well, they got the name from somewhere.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
We-
Like tapas is like finger food in Spain, but here in Panama, if you speak about tapas, you're talking about butt cheeks.
Finger food. Still finger food.
It's
Still finger food, yeah.
Yeah. Some
We
people
have a
enjoy it.
streamlined,
Thoroughly.
integrated organization with an awesome new leadership team, Jonas. In a statement accompanying the announcement, we are working toward robust profitability alongside superior marketing, sales, licensor relations, as well as best in industry terms for creators. Increased live and digital, what is that? And engagement?
Fan
An
engagement.
engagement
This is all
novel.
corporate
Fan
talk.
engagement novel playing
Novel play
modalities.
modalities. Yeah.
And continued and elevating dedication to authentic, engaging storytelling and entertainment. I have, thank God,
Oh, look
had
at him! Look at him!
a
Getting
tremendous
going
fortune
there.
in my young career. Thank God, had a tremendous fortune in my
Thank
young
God my
career.
daddy was rich.
And
Yeah,
have
exactly.
a track record of creating value. And with the blessing of an amazing team of colleagues, I guarantee that IDW will embody a spirit of fun and excellence. We need to keep that.
can
This
hardly
sounds like-
contain myself.
We need to keep that quote handy and see where they're at.
Yeah.
in
This
a
sounds
year
like
or,
this sounds like somebody
18 months
trying
from
to.
now. Yeah.
This sounds like somebody coming in, like that new, when the store's failing, somebody else comes in and, my daddy put me here and put me in
Yeah.
charge. It's gonna be great.
Yeah,
No,
we're
it's
gonna turn
not.
this
No, it's
franchise
not.
around. No, this sounds like there's a no I in team speech.
Yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
sounds
Doing
like.
corporate things like, nah, dude, I'm not convinced. Where's
I'm
my
not
check?
feeling it. I'm not feeling
Yeah.
it, guys. I am not feeling that IDW has
Yeah,
a very
dude.
strong future at all.
I mean, I actually appreciate that he thanked God there. I think.
Yeah,
that
but he
was
thank God that he
strategic-
was rich.
Yeah, but
That's pretty much what that
strategically
says,
placed.
isn't it?
Yeah.
He didn't thank God. He
Yeah.
just said he thanked God that he was rich.
Yeah, thank God for my daddy and his money.
That's like the old saying, how do you make $1 million in comics? You start with $10 million.
Start with $10 million.
Yeah.
That's about right. You know what? Let's actually talk about that for a little bit, because that's kind of our that's a great segue, Randy, into what our topic for the day is. There's this, I think one of the most important quotes that I have grown from in my comic book career is this one. It takes years to become an overnight success.
Mm-hmm.
It takes years to become an overnight success. You will work and you will strive, and anybody that starts out making these comics, you learn that it takes way longer than what you think.
Yep.
No matter what the money investment is, the time investment is always far greater when it comes to making a comic, from the script to the art to the final bits of production. In fact, Craig White, the Soltac, brand new on Arrow Comics. Books are going out next week. The books are en route to our houses right now. In fact, I may actually get a shipment of 5 boxes either today or tomorrow. So either. Oh, by the way, happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you.
Oh,
Tomorrow is Sith Day. Is Revenge of the 5th. Revenge of the 5th.
Yeah, I don't celebrate that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
They've
think anybody-
taken it away from me.
Most everybody doesn't. So.
How dare you?
How dare you?
No,
it's yours. You
Stolen
keep
my
it.
childhood.
Yeah.
I will say there's a new season of Star Wars Visions up on Disney Plus today. I can't wait
is
to
there?
watch.
Okay.
Because the first season was amazing.
Yeah.
I saw that.
I liked it a lot.
That was actually really,
Pedro,
really good.
not so much. Is that,
I can't wait to see the Indian flower bender Jedi.
yeah, that too. But
I'm
you
done
can't
with
have
the
it.
franchise.
I'm done. Like, I'm not excited by it. It's just like, it's an opportunity every time to rub it in my face that I'm not part of the
See all my lightsabers back there?
Yeah.
That whole
Dude,
row is dark side lightsabers, by the
Yeah,
way.
dude.
That's why I have red light on there.
You want to
My
love it?
my light side lightsabers are up here. I've only got like 2.
Dude, yeah.
I've got 2. And then I've
It's
got
a
the
good-
dark saber up there, but they broke the dark saber.
It's like it's a
broke
good
that
it's a
super
good
nice.
IP, and you want to love it, and it's part of your childhood. It's nostalgic, but it's like they took nostalgia and then just turned it into absolute
Yeah.
crap.
They filed it into a shank and stabbed me in the back.
Most all entertainment has gone that way,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
And that's the thing. Like, I have
It's not
the
just
original
Star Wars.
movie.
Look at what Marvel's doing right now.
Yeah. Dude, I have the original movie. I didn't even enjoy the prequels. Like, I didn't enjoy the prequels at all until Force Awakens came out, and then it's like, okay, I learned to appreciate the prequels, and all the way to Clone Wars until Disney bought it. That's my Star Wars. So I'm happy. Like, I'm gonna, oh my god, you took it from me. Like, no, you're doing something that I don't.
You
I
didn't
don't
like that last
participate.
season of Clone Wars?
So
It was the last season was a nice closure.
The one that they didn't do animation for until Disney Plus kicked
Yeah,
in.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like that was all right. Like, I enjoyed that. That was
Mhm.
cool. But dude, like, how can you ruin, like, I don't know, like 6 seasons of like an awesome show? Then you gotta close it properly, and that was cool. But like Rebels, to me, it was like a Lego movie. It's just like, no. And they did like Star Wars, like Wing Command or something, and they used like that horrible cell shading.
that Revelance or Revalence or whatever they
Rebel Alliance.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was
horrible,
just incredibly bad.
Hell no. And
They stole my brother's R2 unit for that show.
You see,
He had
they
done
did.
R2,
I saw that. That was
he had
great.
done R2 Deco, an R2 unit with a retro look to it. Yeah, they took the color scheme and everything and put it on that show. And when anybody mentioned to them about it, they said, "So what?
Yeah.
We own it. It's ours."
Mm-hmm. And that's the
This
thing.
is
Like,
ours now.
I'm not gonna be held hostage because something says Star Wars. Like, you have to watch it. Like, I really don't.
Yep.
Russ says, "Don't trust anyone who uses the word modality."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And modality tells me their business plan is to build a machine to travel the multiverse until they find one with a profitable IDW. Then copy that. Then copy what they did. That's what they're trying to do.
Could be
That's
that
like
guy
Princess
with
Nostalgia isn't what it used to
could
be.
be that guy with the magic amulet that was on your porch.
Oh yeah. Who's an IDW representative?
Yeah.
Yep.
You never
There
know.
is going to be a Babylon 5 animated movie.
There is next week.
Hope
I
it's
can't
going
wait
to
for the
be
announcement.
good. Yeah, I hope it's going to be good.
Babylon 5 is a prime example of what you can do with a regular budget. Because I mean, the effects in Babylon 5 weren't the greatest, but dude, it was a solid series.
It was solid.
And the big
We'll
thing
cover
about
them
the
a little
animated
more next
movie
week.
is Straczynski wrote it and oversaw it, and
Oh,
you know he
nice.
really cares about that
cares about the
property.
IP,
So it's
yeah.
probably going to be really good. I'm real curious to know what he did about the voice actors of the characters that have passed, though. That's my big curiosity.
Yeah. Dude,
Whether
there's
they
another
AI
series.
or just find someone else to.
Yeah.
I
There's
don't know.
another
Close.
series that,
It'll be
that-
interesting to find out.
Yeah, there's
That
another
was
series that
such a
didn't have a
good-
big budget.
Such a good
and it was-
show.
Oh, it's
It was
an
like-
amazing show. You go back and it still holds up. I just rewatched it a year or so
Babylon
ago.
5? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of my
Dude,
favorite
Holds
sci-fis.
up incredibly well. Yeah.
Have you guys seen Farscape?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that's another series that to me it was a solid series, dude. Like
It was fun. It was very brain
Yeah.
check type.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it for what it is.
enjoy it for what it is, and
love
it was
Yeah.
awesome. And
Part
and
of
the
Babylon-
characters.
Babylon 5 was part of the reason, part of what inspired me to want to do Rift Riders. And so, even though I don't write Rift Riders, I've kind of created the world around it. The characters I've designed and things like that, and the basic concepts. And so it's like I wanted something like that. Piper did a great job writing that book, and people are going to be finding out this week because the book should be showing up on people's doorsteps either this weekend or early next week. It's going to be quite exciting.
Cool.
Man, I'll tell you what went really well. That Arrow bundle number 1 went gangbusters,
Nice.
and that is such a great bargain for people. Those packages are, man, counting out
And
like 8
it's
books.
a solid variety of books.
It
too.
really is.
That's
yeah,
the thing. Yeah. Real proud of that.
it really is.
How much is that bundle going for?
$50.
8 books.
Yeah,
$8
books for
50 bucks, yeah.
It's a really nice bargain.
$10 shipping. Yeah. So for $60, you can get 8 books.
Every book's 32 pages, at least
Yeah.
28 or so pages of story
Yeah.
in it,
Yeah.
of comics. I mean, solid comics.
Yeah, great work.
Great stuff.
Even if like a single story is less than 32, there's a lot of them that have backup stories in there to fill it out. So you're getting story content in everything, man. It's really nice.
Plus,
It's a
we
really
have
good
a
bundle, it really
serial character that runs through the back of a lot of those books. It's kind of a little, a young girl and Flash Gordon mixed together
Nice.
in a regular space opera serial called Ginger Star. It's a lot of
Speaking
fun.
about good IPs, Flash Gordon, the original, black and white, damn good stuff.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That
And that's
those
another thing.
a lot of those old serials hold up real well too. Those old theater serials, just amazing.
I
Death
think
Trap
we
to
start
Death
out.
Trap.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, we start out making, when we start making our ideas, we have these huge plans, to create these vast universes and stuff. And that's what I love about Justin Sweet. Like, he's got this huge world in mind. And one of the things that I really wound up really trying to help him with and understand, because he looks at like, I've got like 9 books out for hybrids, and we've got some spin-off stuff going, and it's, it's starting to get where I want it to be. And he was like really overextending himself with the, with wanting to like, well, let me start this book over here. Let me pay an artist to do that. Let me do this. Like, because he want, you got these ideas. You just want to get them out, and you want everyone to be able to consume the story and digest it right away. But it takes so much time, and you have to pace yourself on these things. Especially when you're indie, there's so much that you can't do that someone with a large budget does.
Of course.
So there was this clip that I saw. It's this company that's trying to get Tucker Carlson, and they said, look, anybody that, no matter if Tucker comes here or somewhere else, subscribe, get the paid subscription to that account, to that place, because we have to put our money where our mouth is. Mm-hmm. These other places, they get money. Fox News gets money from Pfizer. They're going to limit what you hear. Mm-hmm. If you don't like what Netflix and Disney's doing, they've got millions of dollars to put money into new IPs and new content. Mm-hmm. You got to support the ones that don't really have it, so they can build the infrastructure they need to get there, which is what Fund My Comic is. It's an alternative, and so people are like, well, I'm just going to wait. I get this a lot. I'm just going to wait and see how it turns out. I was like, well, it's not going to turn out if you don't jump in.
You guys, I got to go help my dad with some bank stuff, so I have to head out. But
That's fine, Pedro. Thanks for being
it
here.
was awesome, dude. The show was awesome as always. You guys, Black Tropical Magics on Fund My Comics. Spread the word. We're getting better. We're getting backers little by little. And dude, I'm very happy with what the site is coming up with. We have a shopping cart.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I'll just cover this a little bit.
So yeah, dude.
But it takes a long time to build anything, right?
Yeah, but
Randy knows this well.
Yeah, but it feels like the baby's growing, man. So I'm just stoked for you.
All the time,
dude.
Yeah, so stoked for you too, man. You're taking the time to build up your own brand right now too, and it's I'm excited about the animation school.
Oh yeah,
guys,
dude.
check out Pedro. Pedro, you have a good day.
You too, guys.
And tell Pops we said hi.
All right, I will.
See ya.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's cover this just for a little bit.
And
Yeah.
Hojo, if I can address the chat for a sec, Hojo,
yeah.
Babylon 5 is available, I think, either on Tubi or Crackle, one of the free streaming services out there. There'll be commercials, but there's 110 episodes of fun out there. Watch the first one and go all the way through it in order, and you'll see it's one great big
You're gonna
large
love
novel.
it.
It's
You're
worth
gonna
your
love it.
time. You'll thank us for it later, believe me.
Yeah. When
is
does the
classic
original
material.
Flash Gordon come into public domain? Does anybody know
Not
that
for
one?
a while.
it's a ways off.
20, what is it? At least a good 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So Buck Rogers will go into public domain first. So look for that first.
Look at where we're at, man. The site has raised almost $11,000 for people so far.
Sweet.
So people have been able to fund almost 11 grand in what, 2 months? Yeah. We've got Edwin Acevedo is getting close to being funded, but he's going to push. They're all trying to dethrone the Buckler right now, Dillard. Dillard is the highest earner on the site so far at 2,090. And so they're all trying to race to take that spot. And so the Mythicals is getting close. Hojo, he's hustling. And then Fall of Man is up over $1,000 now. He's on his way. He's trying. Paul will get funded at 2,500. So he has to get up there. So he has to beat him right now. But he's got plenty of time. Ma'am, I Am. No other platform will let this book on there.
Just got a recent notice on Twitter by Ethan saying that you should go over here and buy this book.
Yep. This is the only place that you can get it, guys. No other platform would allow them the free speech to do it. Plain and simple, they'd be taken down.
So
They raised almost $1,300 now.
Cool.
speaking about getting up onto Fund My Comics, what kind of advice you got for people just starting out that want to get on the platform and don't have a lot of funding and
If you don't have a lot of funding, you're trying to actually fund to get things off of the ground. Build a campaign that is an keep it all with a very long date and reasonable goals to reach. Now, what we can do is we can go in and actually update your funding goal for you, which is something that other platforms cannot do. Well, I don't know. Maybe they can. They don't. So let's say, for instance, you're working on a project and you have certain goals to reach. And right now you can't really offer a book or anything, but you can offer sketch cards or you can offer prints of things and stuff like that. So you could put up rewards on there with things that people can get with a funding goal of say you need $500 or $1,000 to get you to the next phase of your project. And people know that what they're doing is they're funding a potential book that's coming. They're helping you get there, right? And so you're offering things that they, rewards that they can get, just like what you would do on Patreon.
so that's
So
kind
you
of
can use it
similar
like a Patreon.
similar to like Lucas or George Lucas when he'd had the they didn't have the action figures yet, but he sold the stands for them at a cardboard, I guess.
Yeah. So he started selling those so that he could fund getting those other things, making those other things happen. And you can put that goal. And let's say then once you reach that goal, you contact admin, or your campaign admin. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's someone else. And you're like, hey, Luke, I would like to increase my goal now. I've hit the $1,000 I needed. Now my next goal is this one right here. That's what I need to get. So we can actually make it happen on the actual campaign, or you just communicate. This is the next step. Once we get here, then we can make an ash can. And so you start selling that ash can, pre-selling that ash can, or something like that. So there's ways to do that, but we're here to help you figure that out, and help you get down the road to get funded. Now this is something that not everybody else does. And that's why I'm saying, look, this is not an Indiegogo. It's a replacement. but it's not an Indiegogo clone. This is very much its own thing. This is very much to offer creative freedom, because we know how long it takes to build up anything, any kind of an empire. Relentless Tin Soldier is at, I think, he's got 2 books now. He's got 2 books out now. And we know how long it takes to get 2 books done. Mm-hmm. Right? It takes ages to get 2 books done. Great looking book, by the way. Great art. I know that he's got he's waiting on a Rob Liefeld too, I believe. But yeah, so great looking work here, right? But all that takes time. Yeah. People don't realize how long a single page of comic art can take. Some guys are really fast and get them done, a couple of days, a couple in a day, several a week. But I'm doing 1 page right now, traditional, because we're going to sell the artwork. And it's taken a long time. It takes 2 or 3 times longer than anything else that I do.
How many hours would you say?
For that original piece, we're going to have about 15 hours in that original piece. It's going to look great. I mean, it's going to be, it's going to be a masterpiece if I do say so myself. But yeah, it takes a long time to make these things happen. And, I don't think people realize that. And so if 1 page takes that long, I mean, think about it. If you can do 3 pages a week and you're wanting to do 30 pages, you're going to take 10 weeks to get that done. So let's say every 10 weeks you can have another 30 pages. So that means if you're going to do a 90-page book, you're looking at 90 weeks. I mean, 30 weeks. 30 weeks to get 90 pages done of art. Man, I'm thinking about it. Like, start figuring that out. What is a graphic novel? 140? So you start putting that out there, you think, okay, now it's going to take, you're probably going to get, 40, 50 weeks of work in. It's going to take an entire year to get the production of the book done. So if you think, oh, I'm going to do a 100-page graphic novel and I'm going to get it done. We're going to release it this year. Maybe not. The only way to do that is to try to produce as fast as you can. And some of this art just takes longer to produce than others. I think that's why, when I'm doing my hybrids art, I produce those books very quick. So I don't do a lot of rendering. I don't do a lot of shading and stuff like that with the inks. I allow the colorists to do a lot of that work because it's faster for them to use an airbrush than it is for me to use pens. Randy, you've been doing this longer than I have. You're the expert. You're the expert here.
Okay.
What advice do you have for buckling in for the long haul on trying to build things up like this?
That's the whole thing. It's buckling in for the long haul. Just do it and keep doing it. If you want to do it, if you want to do comics, do comics. But it becomes a discipline. The more you do, the better you're going to get. The more you're in this business, the more you're going to learn. So just absorb as much as you can like a sponge and bring that to the board as much as you possibly can. Try to cut out a certain amount of time every day or a certain when you're working on a project. Everything is on that project. Put yourself into it. We're at with crowdfunding and with Fund My Comics especially, we're at a point now where everything is literally the Wild West. There's going to be phenomenal books out there that aren't going to be seen right away, that are going to be able to stay out there and run through and find more of their potential as they go along. Everything is a step, and you have to go out there and just take it one little step at a time. Learn your craft, learn your history, learn the business, and do it. And your best way of learning literally is to do it. Even if you have 10 backers, you fulfill that campaign, you do it, then you go on to the next one.
Yeah, Rome wasn't built in a day.
And Rome wasn't built in a day, no. And if you've got an IP out there, if you've got a property that you really want to do, don't get discouraged if the first issue isn't that it doesn't come up to your expectations. your second one is going to bring in more people to the first one, and it's going to be like a snowball running down the hill. You're gonna, with every issue that you do, gives you a larger catalog to sell, which is going to make your crowdfunding amount higher potential. So just keep it out there and keep going at it. If you believe in it, if you build it, they will come, just like Field of Dreams.
If you build it, they will come.
You just
So,
need to go out
are you-
there and keep putting it out in front of enough people to
Are you
gain
familiar with
that
Gary
audience.
Shipman?
Name's familiar. Yeah.
What do you
Can't
think
say
of this art, man? Look at this.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I like particularly the top right with the little gremlin thing. Look at that.
Yeah, I love that.
That's awesome. What is
Yeah.
that?
Looks like, I don't know, man, but that just, it looks great. The line art in this book is tremendous.
Reminds me a lot of the early, mid to late 70s, 2000 AD look to that. There's a couple of phenomenal inkers that were working there right about the time that Bisley was coming in that were doing work of this quality. This is Titan, right?
Yeah, Tight Mouse.
Yeah, he's had this property out before. It's an example of what I was saying. You get a property you want to do it. Just keep it out there.
And keep doing it. And that's
Yep,
what he's
keep doing
done.
it.
3 volumes now he's got of this. 3 volumes he's got of this.
And look at the quality of the work.
Every
He's
time
def-
I'm on this show, doing the streams and stuff, it just inspires me to, pick up the torch and get back into my dream of doing comics. I mean,
You see a lot of Brian Boland influence in this.
Yeah.
I do in his inking and the way that it looks. There's and I can't remember the guy's name right offhand, but one of the guys that worked on Judge Dredd, who has a phenomenal inking style. That's
Oh, yeah.
this work really reminds me of,
Yeah.
with the line work and that. Just
See, here's what I love
Great
about it. And this is
stuff.
what comics should. Yeah, I'm glad you said it, Whiskey. I'm glad it inspires you. Comics should inspire you.
It should.
Like, I think it's great to go to a website and look through and just see a list of comics, a wall of comics, right? And be able to look at them and get inspired by them, be able to look at them and be excited by them, like this book by Edwin Acevedo. I get so excited by this book. I'm going to play the trailer. That's how excited I get. I love this book.
Ace Comics has been around for a while.
Yep.
Raid of the White Leopard, Book 1, is the story of a band of Vikings that get caught up in a storm and wash up on a mysterious island. Written by Edwin Acevedo, the writer of The Ace, with art by Avery Butterworth from The Lost Pages. Back it today on fundmycomic.com.
See, here's the thing with this. Look at this art. I get so inspired by it.
Yeah, what a great vibe from that work.
Yeah,
isn't it?
I bought an original
great.
page, and I kind of hope I get this one right here.
Ah,
Oh man, it's just the line work, the toning. I love every piece of this. It's so good.
and the themes too. It's Vikings. Like, you can't go wrong with Vikings.
no.
Yeah,
You got,
he was gonna color it, but when he saw it, he goes, I don't
No.
want to throw colors on there.
No, some work like this color will just destroy and make muddy. But this is beautiful line work. Look at that, just phenomenal
Yeah.
stuff.
So
this is
good.
like the Titan. Again, you can't put color on that. It's just
Look
too
at
pretty.
this.
Yeah,
See those faces in there, man? Look at that. Just the amount of work. I mean, beautiful line art that goes into this. Just the feel and the atmosphere of it.
there's
Look at
a
this splash page.
there's a hell of an instructional video just on that one page alone.
Yeah.
I'd love to see. I'd sit through it. I'd love to see how he got some of those effects.
Art should inspire you
Oh,
to
yeah.
create art, man. And I'm telling you, that is what this is doing for me. I love it. Glenn says Mick McMahon is who you're thinking about. I believe.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
I think a lot about comics is you can just
McMahon. Yeah.
like as a physical or digital medium or whatever, you're looking at it, and not just the story but the art, and you just
There you go. Thank you.
you lose yourself in it, and you can just, like this piece here, you can just pick up, you're like focus on one thing and then you focus on another thing, and you can reread this 15, 20 times and still find something you missed before, and it's amazing.
I'm next to positive he's working digital here, but it really looks like he's got a sheet of duo shade board
No,
from the
this is traditional.
from the eight. Is it? That
Yeah.
might be dual shade then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just almost painted on painted on tones. Yeah.
Yeah, there's five. The first 5 pages are for sale because Edwin has the. I already backed original art, so hopefully I'm going to get one of those pages of the first 5, and I can't wait. Can't wait to get it. Peter Samedi says, yeah, he does it. Start with something, learn the process, get involved in an anthology. A lot of people's like, well, I don't like anthology. I like anthologies. I like grabbing a book that's got a lot of stories in it, so I can check it out. It's fun for me.
There's so much more play you can do on a short story form as well. An 8 to 10 to 12 page story. You can do it. You're done with it. And if it has a good beginning, middle, and end, you learn so much from it that you can take that and expand it out to 30 pages if you have to, or wherever. But definitely, I tell everybody, if you want to get your feet wet, short stories are the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you're done with the story, you can always go to the next one, and you're going to learn exponentially every time you do one.
Yeah, and
try
you
different
figure out how to be a better writer.
Try different inking. Yep. Try different storytelling.
Randy has seen a lot of my evolution over the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think we met in 2019 or 2020. I can't remember.
It's probably 2018.
2018, probably.
Yeah.
And over that time, like, you've watched me grow in my art and my storytelling.
Yep.
And it's
and you grow fast enough that you went through and remastered all of those hybrid books.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And it's a matter of applying yourself
mm-hmm.
and practice and learn. And I listen to what other people do,
mm-hmm.
and I try to incorporate all of the things that they do that might be able to work with what I want to do. I'm not saying copy what everybody does exactly. Sometimes you're going to get advice. It's not going to be the best advice for you. It might still be good advice because it worked for them. But you got to figure out you and your business. Yeah. That's why we do Fund My Comic the way we do. Yeah. Because we understand each business is different. Mm-hmm. Everybody has a different goal in mind. You know, I started out with do my own company. I left. I was going to be done. Joe Spicer, a good friend of mine, encouraged me to keep doing hybrids. And then it got to a point to where my goals with publishing were different from where really the majority of those people were over there. I didn't have a problem with them. It wasn't a bad thing, but it was a moment where a departure was necessary in order for me to start applying what I wanted for publishing. And that's when Randy and I got, we got hooked up after a failed attempt because somebody tried to leech on to my reputation, I think. And it just didn't work. It didn't work out.
You got to know each other off, and somebody made an attempt to leech onto my reputation. So
yeah, they did. And it might have been the same people.
Probably. But the key thing to remember here is that this is an art form. And because it's an art form, you get to play. And you should. Because you never know what materials you're going to take to, or what techniques you're going to adapt, or maybe, break ground with. By just sitting there and playing and seeing how it works, seeing how it looks printed, seeing how it looks on the computer screen, seeing what it looks like, even if you're using Tapas or
Hail Ice Queen,
the digital Hail, even the digital formats. You'd be there. There's so many different techniques, and there's so many ins and out intricacies of this business, and so many things that you can do. You need to play and just
speaking about that,
have fun.
It occurs to me that, like, even if you, like, for those people trying to get into the industry, it occurs to me that you don't even necessarily have to be an artist. You got, writing, you got editing, you got, marketing, so on and so forth that you can get into. And if you love comics, if you love what you're doing, the stuff, and you want to make it part of your life, you can. There's avenues that, obviously you can explore, and you don't necessarily have to be an artist. I mean, it's great. But, you can be a writer, you can be an editor, and so on and so forth.
Marv is a perfect example of somebody who's evolving as an artist. And you can literally see from issue to issue that he does how fast he's improving, how much he's learning, how much he's applying to what he's learned. and every book he does just gets exponentially better. So if you want to
You
get
learn
in on the
so much
ground
from every
floor of
page.
that, the first Arrow Comics bundle has the first Sin Killer in it. There'll be more. There's another Sin Killer available, and he's working on another book beyond that. The second book is so different from it's the same technique. You can tell it's the same artist, but you can see how much he's learned in the second book from the first, and you're going to see as the more he does, the better he's just going to keep getting. And because he's an artist, he works, he applies his techniques, he learns from it, and he applies it to the next book. And that's really, there's so many young artists out there who get stuck doing the one book because it's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect. You need to do it. You need to get it done. You need to get it out. And yes, you need to grimace at it 6 months, 6 years from now. But it's a learning. It's a step in your evolution as an artist. That's what you need to keep telling yourself.
Yeah.
The stuff I was
Do it!
the stuff I was doing when I first started doesn't look a thing like the stuff I'm doing now.
No.
That's persistence is the key word here. Just keep at it.
It's
I
all
love this
a learning
hand.
process. That's all part of being an artist. Even
Look
as
how
a writer, you're an artist.
Look how good I love
Yeah.
this like stark contrast in the shading, these big block shadows. I love it.
Yep.
But again, though, so what was it? 2 of these that we've shown off have not been really traditional, what you would see in comic books, which I think is what I really like about it. That
But it's
it
still
pushes the
sequential
envelope,
art.
but it's still
Yeah.
sequential art. It's still storytelling,
Yep.
and it's great. But it pulls you into the mood, and I friggin' love it, man.
Those silhouettes are great, man.
They are. This is neat. The black out, the white outline on the black with the just so much life in these pages for being so dark.
There's a lot of interesting technique there that everybody can learn from.
Mm-hmm. I look at Marvy's art, and I try to apply some of the things that I see there to my own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like how this smoke carries across and ties this page together. Yeah, I mean, this is just good work. This is good work, and you can get really truly inspired by it. This guy doing what he's been doing. Look, 39 backers on Fund My Comic alone.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not the only place you can get this. He was running Indiegogo well before he got here.
Yeah.
So in the last month, he's raised $1,300, almost $1,400. But look at this art. Look how beautiful that is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cool story too. I really like what
It is a cool story. It's very interesting.
Mythicals has got going on there.
Yeah.
I keep making a list of all these books I'm going to get when I have the shekels to actually afford it.
Yeah, it's getting crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
That's a
I
cool
found
cover.
that out early on. There's so many great books out there. You just your wallet is only so big.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're at a loss with it sometimes. That's a neat bookmark.
Yeah, like the eyes. Also, another reason to stay out there and to keep being out there, because somebody might notice your book now and not be able to afford it until 6 months from now.
Yeah.
So they'll catch that next issue and then buy the previous one.
Luke, that one's your art there, right? Or
Yeah, it is.
the pin up there?
Wow. Good for you.
I've gotten better.
Yeah. Looks good.
Been putting a lot of work into it. And they like the ladies. People like the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things, and completely change the topic a little bit. One of the things I'm kind of excited for Find My Comics is the starting to get games now. We had a card game recently that was
Yeah, let's take a look at
introduced to
that,
it.
which is really cool. Yeah, we are working on. So we got the shopping cart yesterday. But then we found out that the coupon codes work only when we have the shopping cart turned off. And we can't have the shopping cart on for some campaigns, not other campaigns. So last night yesterday I started talking with the developer, the guy that actually is doing the nuts and bolts for us. And we were talking back and forth on what we want the codes to do. And he's like, well, He goes, this is complicated. Because the way the codes worked before, it was applied to each individual perk or each individual reward, but it was done in a single shopping cart, right? Which was easy to do it that way. But now when you're adding multiple rewards, you either have to apply individual codes to each reward at the shopping cart, because it won't work. They got to figure it's like a whole other string of code to have one, to be able to pop in the shopping the code, the coupon code, and apply to everything in the shopping cart. It's a whole other line of code to do that. We're trying to figure out what the best way is, because we want to be able to let people do individual codes for special items or whatever. And we're going to get that done this week or next week. We're going to have it done. It's going to happen. We just have to figure out how much time and how much money that's going to cost Todd and I to get that done. But it is something that we're doing. So we do have the shopping cart, but we're trying to sort out the coupon code situation today. And so whatever it is, we'll get it started today. Whatever we decide. So he's touching base with me. They're over near Washington State, so they're 3 hours behind where we're at. So they get in the office, I think 10 a.m. there is what they get when they get in. So they'll about 1 o'clock we'll start working on that today. So and they work till late in the day for themselves. So sometimes 1 o'clock in the morning I'm talking back and forth with the developers because they try to get it done. But yeah, check this thing out, man. This is fun. We got a card game. So we had the RPG up, but now we've got another game up. This is a fun trailer.
I am the spectator. I am he who spectates. I scoured the universe in search of a very special card game. Well, I skipped the Crab Nebula because, you. But now my search is over. Ever wish you could share your love of comics and superheroes and collectible card games with your whole family? Now you can with
Superpowered Smash Masters!
It's your friendly neighborhood superhero parody card game. In Superpowered Smash Masters, or Spasm. Spasm? Can we say that? Inappropriate. In Spasm, you assemble teams of heroes and build decks around what your heroes can do. And what is it they do, you ask? Protect the innocent? Stamp out injustice? No, we go find some rival heroes to smash. Yes, because that's what superheroes do. Tell them about the hero cards, and do it right. Each hero has a special power. They can benefit your team, or they can melt your enemies' faces. Right on. If your heroes smash all the other heroes, you win, punk. Don't call them that. The game's content is appropriate for kids. I mean, most kids. Not feral kids. Never hand your cards to a feral kid. Not if you want your hand back. This is a parody game, lovingly crammed full of comic book cliches and pop culture references. 'Cause we're nerds. The content's rated G. I mean, it would be if people rated card games. It's a deck-building game the whole family can play together. Thanks for checking out our game. We're grateful for your support. Learn more about Smash Masters by checking out our gameplay video. Do it. Until next time, don't say it. Excelsior!
Very cute trailer.
That's good.
Yeah,
That is fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Look at this thing.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping the gentleman behind that jumps on a stream sometime in the future, says hello. Because
Yeah, Smash Master Deluxe. You get one core set, which features everything needed to play for up to 4 players. One new recruit set, which features everything needed to play for up to 2 players. So basically, you have like 6 players here. Play up to 6 players.
another
And
thing
this
on the
is
list to check out.
The core set and the recruit set. This is really cool. Yeah, it's something I'm definitely going to get one of these. I like this. Looks really cool. It's fun. But yeah, so now we're doing games. We do have the ability for people to do novels and things like that. But yeah, it's cool stuff. So here we've got Glenn is saying also learn about the printing process. I think that's important. You should understand the process, understand the limitations and the challenges of that as well. Yeah, that's great advice, Glenn. Comes from somebody that's been doing this a while. He understands what the medium can be. You know, like what you can do. And that's really the best part of this is learning, like you said, Randy, what it's going to look like on the paper as it's printed in a book. It'll change how you start the art, by the way.
Yeah,
well, you know what the end result's going to look like.
Yep. Especially that first one. I tell everybody that's when you get that book in your hands and it's something that you created. It's like the first time you hold your child. That
it's so great.
You grab it, you look through it, you realize that you did it. Maybe you even smell it, and that's when you decide right there if you're going to do this for the rest of your life, because it's a feeling that you can't copy.
If you're doing this just for
6 months later, a year from now, somebody brings it to you at a show to get autographed, and you go, okay.
I find if you're doing this for
I'll
Netflix
sign it.
deal,
I'm
you're
glad
not
you
gonna
like
stick.
it. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. You know, that kind of thing. So,
yeah, I really find that if you're doing this for a Netflix deal, you're not going to stay.
Not going to happen.
I think it's important to we're talking about I guess understanding the foundations and production aspects of that stuff's really important. In miniatures, they got a term called minimum feature thickness, right? Like how small you can create something before it's too small to be produced, right? Or for minimum feature thickness. Like comics, there I guess are the same way. If you're drawing like a tiny figure in the background, you have to make the details less resolution or something so it pops out.
Yeah.
So you got to understand the foundation of what you're building to really, you can't just go in sort of half-cocked. You have to know what you're doing a little bit. So do your research, learn the trade.
Do your experimenting.
Do your experimenting, and but throw yourself into it. Don't give up.
Yep.
Not half-cocked, full-cocked.
Full-cocked, yeah.
Don't half-ass something, full-ass something.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah, so that's good stuff, man. I'll tell you what. Here's the deal. I think it's time for
comic book like that says my book smell. Yeah,
my book smell. Yeah, I think it's time for us to close this thing down today, guys. Thanks for being here.
Of course.
We would. We're going to try to keep the streams to about 2 hours now, and instead of the 3 that we've been doing, because there's a lot of work to get done.
There is.
Now with Fund My Comic and all the other commissions that I'm doing, I just don't have the time to stream for 3 hours on Thursday morning. I got to get some work done, guys. So we're going to go ahead and go get some work done now. We would have closed down around 11, but unfortunately, the technical difficulties got us started late today. But thank you guys for being. Thank you, Whiskey. Thank you, Randy.
Of course.
As always for being
Thanks
here.
for having us. Yeah.
You guys have been really stepping up and hanging out with us since Nick had to step away for a little while. Nick, it's great to have you in the chat today. I love you, brother. You'll always be one of my bro hosts, even though you're not here. Glenn says great show. I'm glad you enjoyed it today, guys. Whiskey, is there anything that you want to say before we head out?
Yeah, check out Bayonet and Ricochet on I guess on Twitter right now, and check out the miniatures that we're making, and if you're a commission or if you're interested in action figures or miniatures or anything of that realm, that's what we do. We make those things. We also have a tabletop war game in development called Banner Steed and Lance. It's a long project, but we're working away, and eventually, hopefully, in the next somewhere 6 months to a year or so, it should be finished and hopefully out in the market.
Awesome, man. That's great. Welcome, man. Yeah, you have missed it, but you can go back and rewatch it here in just a few.
Oh, it's archived over on the YouTube.
The YouTube
and Rumble now too.
Not
right?
today. Not today. I didn't get Rumble started.
Okay.
Because of the technical difficulties. So Rumble is a little more difficult to start because you have to set it up on Rumble and then put it in manually over here. It's doesn't. They need to work on that. Make it a little easier to.
Everybody's got bugs to work out, right?
Everybody does. I mean, and I remember when StreamYard first came out, and we were starting to use it. It's really improved a lot since then. It's come a long way.
Yep.
Something with the site. Our site will be along. Imagine what we're going to be a year from now.
Yeah.
Imagine what Arrow Comics is going to be a year from now.
It's a whole idea.
Right?
It's baby steps.
Yeah, imagine what we're going to get. We sometimes get lost in the vision, right? But forget the mission. The vision is where we're going. The mission is how we're getting there.
Yep.
You know, we forget about those two things. And, yeah. Randy, anything you want to...
Folks, you can find a bunch of my work over at aerocomics.store. Go over there and take a look if you want to buy it individually, or go check out that Fool campaign over at fundmycomic.com. Really proud of that book. I'm just putting the finishing touches on putting a few ads together and some pinups together, and that print file is done and ready to go.
Nice.
After that, I'm working on adapting a great sword and sorcery story that Russ Leach, comic book black belt, and myself are working on. That's next on the bucket list. And then after that, I'm going to start monkeying around. Looking forward to that very, very much. In the meantime, I have another book currently being colorized, I should say, by the great Patrick Gamma. That'll be coming out soon. Immediately, I'm working on finishing up the Spanish adaptation to one of my Preservers comics. That's an instructional book I do for our local nature preserve here, a superhero team that teaches kids about conservation and preservation. We're adapting one of the books into Spanish for the Spanish-speaking community all throughout the state. And I'm working on putting the last set of signs together, which teaches all about Michigan history. The characters jump back in time and visit Michigan in different time periods. It was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see that book come out as well. But other than that, Indie Comics Network, tomorrow morning at 5 a.m., Glenn Fleming and Russ, comic book black belt, and myself will start, and anybody else who wants to join in at 5 a.m. Eastern time. We're going to start looking at Watchmen. And we're going to go through it until we're done. So we'll see how many episodes that takes. But we've got a lot of Watchmen books. We're going to be looking at it panel by panel. And that's at Comics by Night over at the Indie Comics Network. And then on Sunday mornings, I also do a show at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time called Sunday Funnies, where we talk about the comics and the things around comics that we love and that inspire us to keep working. And all of that stuff's archived over at the Indie Comics Network. So go over there and enjoy yourself. And if you speed it up, we actually sound like chipmunks. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
But this Sunday, we're going to be looking at Second Banana Superheroes again. So there's those really oddball characters like Matter Eater Lad and Bouncing Boy, those kind of characters that have made comics the fun art form that they are. You know, not necessarily as realistic as the comics that you see out there now, but some great old superheroes, most of which you might not have ever heard of before. So swing by Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, Indie Comics Network. I'll be there. Russ and Glenn will probably be there, and everybody else is invited as well. If you're in this business and you want a podcast and make commentary on this kind of stuff, and you're up early enough to do it, let me know, and we'll get you in there. And we'll
if I could pull myself out of bed at 5 a.m. to do this, I might
set your alarm. It's worth it,
because I love that.
Especially Watchmen.
I really love that. Yeah, I love
Watchmen. is a touchstone, monumental work by a couple of true comic masters, and going over it like we are going to be examining it is we like to think of Comics by Night as almost a classroom where we're just sitting there giving off instruction on what works and what doesn't work and what looks right and doesn't look right.
It's really a great show. You guys are
and
amazing.
It's a lot of fun to do. So stop by and take a look. Indie Comics Network over on YouTube.
Let's pay a few bills here.
All right.
Don't forget to if you're buying Gemini mailers, go by and use code NERD10 for 10% off your Gemini orders. And I say pay the bills. I mean, we don't get any kickback on this whatsoever. But I do want to promote. We've got a couple of new things that we're doing, or a couple of things that we typically do. We've got Nerd Bacon on Thursday mornings here at 10. Tuesdays at 10 p.m. we have Nerd Cap. We are now doing a thing. I've got this cool bumper. Check this out. Isn't that neat?
There we are.
So I'm doing this thing where it's Luke draws and it's your IP, and those images are yours to keep. But we talk for about an hour and a half. We interview you. People get to, come in and chat and basically listen to my Bob Ross type commentary of art and interviewing you while we draw your character, and then you can use that character however you want. In fact, that's where that FMC exclusive print for Hojo came from. That was me drawing a Luke Draws. And so Pariah, Blood and Mud, has a cover that I did during a Luke Draws that Carol Colors put the colors to. And so, yeah, there's a lot of projects out there that have gotten a free pinup work from your boy here. But it's my way of trying to promote you guys. So if you have a something that you need to get a signal boost on, let me know. Hit me up, and I'm happy to do it. I'd love to take care of that for you. Do what I can to help you out. Use this platform any way possible to to make your campaign a little more successful. So yeah, check that out. Don't forget Fund My Comic. We are promoting that. Shopping cart is functioning, is working. We are working on coupon code integration this weekend. So hopefully today, tomorrow, we will have that up. So we're making sure the priority gets set to high on that one for us. Don't forget, here's a stinger from one of our partners at Critical Blades. RJ certainly delivers, and I'm going to start using him myself. I'm about done packaging and shipping. I'm like, oh, this is exhausting. I'll take care of my store, but some of these campaigns with 200 people, 200 campaigns, I'm like, oh, I can't do this anymore. My kids love it because they get paid. They get paid pretty good, but as we said, Randy, check out
in the middle of the night or early Friday morning, depending upon where you are in the world. A group of experienced comics professionals get together to examine and instruct about the art form that they love. That's great comic artwork on Comics by Night, Fridays at 5 a.m. Eastern, here on the Indie Comics Network, indiecomicsnetwork.com.
What was that? This is not a charade.
It's never a charade.
Dan! I'm trying to reach you.
Dan.
Let's talk on Twitter today. Okay? Trying to reach you. Yeah, I've been like, does anybody know how to get a hold of Dan? Yeah, apparently I don't even know how to get a hold of Dan. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong. Dan, let's talk today. Hello, friends. Welcome, Dan. Plagal Dan, a very great artist as well. And Tree Goblins in the house. And we got Bristolian Dave. You guys just came at the right time because we're closing down the stream, guys. We're ending it out.
Hello,
and you guys
we must be going.
Yeah. You know how this goes. Let's build up more than we tear down. Let's have some fun. It's comic books, guys. It's the funny books. Stop taking it so serious. Leave the wood pile higher than you found it, and you know what we're going to say. Randy, you want to do it today?
Let's be careful out there.
Let's be careful out there. Let's be careful out there. We had a 187 at the 7-Eleven on the corner of 4th and Main. Two Caucasians of the male persuasion put a bullet through the cashier's brain. Moving on, I see a 211, half a dozen 459, 2 AEWs, a GTA, and several miscellaneous fines.